Gun Podcast.
Stop by your local grocery outlet to participate in our annual Independence from Hunger Drive. This is a great way to support your local food organizations. So take part in our Give 5, Get 5 program. Donate $5 and get a $5 coupon for a future visit. Donations made in-store stay in your local community. Join us in our fight against hunger by visiting your local grocery outlet today. Going on now through the end of July.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
This is All Fantasy Everything, the podcast where we fantasy draft anything and everything from the world of pop culture and beyond today. Because today, we are drafting places to pee that are not a toilet. Our guests today are Shane Torres and Tyler Parker. I'm your host, Ian Carmel, and joining me as always is my friend and comedian Sean Jordan. David Borey, locked in a Bolivian prison, but has navigated himself to basically running that Bolivian prison. And he's having Wi-Fi put in later today. Let's get into it. Welcome to another brand new episode of All Fantasy Everything, the podcast that is drafting places to pee that aren't a toilet. He's Sean Jordan. Sean is Jordan on Twitter. Sean Cougar Melon Jordan on Instagram. Sean drinking alone on the patio last night. In your hearts.
Yeah, man. Pretty simple stuff out there. Admiring the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Opinions on wheat. God, Laura's doing yard work right now. Oh, I feel like such a coward when that happens.
Yeah, wow.
I'm just sitting here with my feet up, sipping a coffee, talking about middle school shit, and she's out there slamming.
How long would you feel like you had, if you weren't doing this, if she didn't know you were doing this, how long would you feel like you had to stay in the house if you didn't have
She would
it?
never get upset about it,
Okay.
but I can't do it for more than 10 seconds. As soon as I
It's
know.
probably like an episode of Yellowstone out there. She's just fucking
Clear brush.
yeah,
Shooting
like
a horse.
yeah, like all this kind of stuff, and then you hear an old like song. It's like by Johnny Paycheck or something. It's like I'm just an old violinist playing in the background.
She comes in and lays her giant thick gloves on the counter. Says she had to kill a man last night.
No, she puts them in her back pocket and cracks open a beer. You know.
She settled border disputes just outside of Gresham.
And then you come in humming like Lefty Frizzell, like, oh, it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's wild.
She
when,
says things like that'll figure. Like that audio.
sometimes
That
it'll work
dog
out
will hunt, Sean.
Yeah.
where like I'll get out of the car or something, and like we'll get out of the car with our daughter, and I'll just look over, and it works out to where she has the stroller, the backpack, her purse, and like our daughter's bottle, and I have nothing. I'm just holding my phone or something, and I'm like, I can't go anywhere like this. I need the backpack or something.
Y'all are living the kind of life where if you were working 50 hours a week, like in a coal mine, basically.
Yeah. Anyway,
But you're working 2 hours a week on a podcast.
if you want to come see me be this lazy sack of shit that you hear talking, I will be in Sacramento, August 3rd through the 8th with a one Kyle Kincaid. I will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, August 18th and 19th, I believe, at Comedy Corner Underground. And then, something coming up dates in the fall, whatever. Those are the only two that I have like nailed down right now.
Beautiful. Shane Torres this year. At Shane Torres
Yay.
on Twitter. At Shane Torres on, or what is it on?
It's Shane Torres on everything now.
On everything now. Cross platform.
Yeah. Cross platforms.
Is it on TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
I am, but I don't ever post on it.
My butt fell off on TikTok.
I don't know if I need another thing to have to worry about. So if I do TikTok, I'm going to hire someone to do it. I'm not fucking with it anymore. It's making me sick.
I've been out here on TikTok, dude.
I've never felt older in my life than the first time and only time that I got onto that app. I got on there and was literally like, what do I touch? Where do my fingers go?
It's a mess.
I was just on vacation with my nephew, and the way he interfaced with every single thing I was unfamiliar with on his phone was mind-blowing. I was like, he's a genius. I'm like, no, it's just inherent now that they all grew up with it. It's fucking insane.
one of the first, like, kind of, you know, a chill down my spine kind of moments as a parent was whenever, like, she was 2 at the time, was looking at a picture of herself, because she wanted to look at a picture of herself on my phone, and I got a text that came in, and just without thinking, she took her finger up to the top of the screen and got the text out of there and cleared it out just by herself. And that was the first time I'd ever seen her do it, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
She's never even seen Minority Report. How does she know how to do that?
She likes late period cruise.
Minority Report is a classic film to her.
It
was made at the same time as Casablanca, bro. You know, it's like
all the yellow sepia tones. That's kind of her black and white, you know.
Yeah. Oh God, what those Instagram filters?
Dude, I was holding a road map. I just wanted to have one when we were in Hawaii, and my nephew was like, "What is that?" Because the reception is so spotty out there in parts of it.
Yeah.
That I was and he was like, "What?" And I was like, it's a paper accordion. You'll never know.
That's how we're getting out of here when your phone dies.
Yeah. It's fucking. You're gonna run out of water before the rest of us and have no clue.
Getting on TikTok feels like walking out of your hotel room and you're all of a sudden in the middle of Shibuya Crossing in like Tokyo. You know what I mean? It's just like so busy, right? It's just like there's no
It's
ramping
insane.
up into it.
It's like, and the other thing is, the irony of it is like our shit is on there all the time, being used by other people. Like my bits are on there all the time, my videos are on there, and I don't know who's putting them up there.
You see it a lot where you have no idea who the person that posted it is.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I see their profile, so I know.
But you don't know the person. They don't know.
No. It's like
fucked.
It's fucked. It was when I was in Austin. I got a cut for my special.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep drunk because I had a bunch of margaritas and I had my headphones in when I was watching my special. And I could hear the special playing in my head while I had the subconscious, like, I'm dreaming brain and the dream going on. That's what TikTok feels like to me.
That's right.
It's 3 things happening at once that are familiar, but none of it is under your control.
That's right. Shane taped a special.
That's right.
Snuck that in there.
Produced by Leanne and Bert Kreischer. So we'll see where it ends up. That should be coming up.
We're going to see where that ends up. Now, if they want to see your comedic stylings before that dropped, where can they frequent?
This comes out when?
29th.
Yeah, June 29th.
Oh, June 29th? That's great, because I got some dates coming up I can plug. I will be in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Stress Factory, their second location.
Ooh.
You can see me at Bottle Rocket in Pittsburgh on the 15th of July, Fort Collins Comedy Club, Comedy Fort Collins, and Montreal Just for Laughs, going back for the first time since Ian and I were new faces 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes. And then that was maybe the darkest day of my career up until that point, was when I came home. Ian was the belle of the ball at New Faces. He did reps.
I remember that.
He came back, I swear to God, with a stack of business cards.
I saw
like
him. He brought back to Portland.
Yeah, you left him on the windowsill for when I came in a day later. I had one business card from a management company called Apostle by a guy named Jim Serpico, who never called me back. And then finally, they call me back like 3 months later. He sends out his assistant to take a meeting with me in the lobby. So,
yeah, dude.
So this is going to be a real Duran Leonard too. I'm coming back to knock the shit out of Montreal.
When I met with CAA, who I ended up signing with at Just for Laughs Montreal, they had been meeting with Dave Chappelle right before, so he walked out and I walked in, baby.
Yeah.
Well, look at us now.
Turns out they were right. You're doing great.
I've still never been, so shut your pie hole.
Well, you're not welcome in French Canada, and you know why that is.
And it's a beautiful city with a.
It's because I'm a patriot.
It's because you dragged Martine Brodeur's name through the mud all through the 1990s.
I'll drag it through the sand.
Yeah, be fucking with the abs, man. They're serious about that guy.
I'll drag it wherever I want to drag it, man. We won, so I don't need to go up there.
They're the Comedy Nest, their comedy club is a mall, but it was where the Canadians used to play. Yeah.
Real spot.
It's cool, and they have like a statue of Rocket Richard in there. It's like it's very sad to see what hallowed ground has turned into.
I don't need to go up to a country that spells January 6th with an extra O, you know? It's like a favorite joke. Favou rit. It didn't work. Isaac, go ahead and cut that out. Put some funny in there.
Isaac, leave it in. Isaac, cut everything but that joke, and let's just drop that joke.
go ahead and put something dope in there. And
I said, go back and give Sean saying that kind of an echo effect. Like really make it feel
like a used car commercial.
Another one.
Yeah.
Just go acapella to start the show with that, I think.
By the way, it would be a U, not an O, an extra U put in there.
Well, where were you before I said it, bud?
Where were you on January where we sit?
See, everybody would have got it if you would have just been here.
Yeah.
You guys want to see him talk about the Trump indictment now or something else?
No, I'm in a good mood.
Yeah. We're a bit, after our 300th episode, we went far right, Tyler, just so you're aware of what's going on here.
Well, no, I mean, there is a tie-in with all the boxes in the bathrooms of, at least in the pictures I saw.
Yeah, that's true. One good place to pee would be on a box of contingency
stop
plans for the U.S.
saying
Navy.
this.
Okay. Tyler Parker is here at TYLRPARKR on Twitter.
Oh, you're like the Weekend.
Yeah, we got these out of there. There's a lot of Tyler Parkers out there. It's a pretty boring name, and I kind of wanted to leave the numbers out of it. So,
Well, let's say, get out of here, Ease. Are you on Instagram in any way that you would like people to interact with?
I am on Instagram, and as soon as I say that, I think there are numbers in my Instagram handle, but this is how often I post on Instagram. I have to look. It's tparker30. That's what it is.
There he is.
A lot of good stuff on there. You can tell I interact with it frequently.
Author of the since released, it comes out tomorrow as we're recording, Pub Day.
Yeah.
The book A Little Blood and Dancing, which I'm going to let you talk about in a second, but first I'm going to talk about it. The best, I think I technically read it last year, but the best book, not by my wife, that I have read, see me slide that in there?
That was smart.
I'm smart. The best book, not by my wife, that I have read in the last year.
Not by my wife.
Not by my wife. I fucking loved it so much. It's fantastic. It's like an Elmore Leonard-y, like it's crimey. Shane, you would love it. Sean, you will love it when they make it into a movie or a TV show.
Not a big reader.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Sean, Michael Mann wrote a book, and it's Heat 2, and the audio version of it is insane.
Whoa, they didn't. Who's doing who's the cast?
It's me. I only heard like the first 10 minutes of a narration, and it is fucking wild. It is.
That's
like
fucking
you're not.
rad.
I'll send you guys. I'll put it in the text, but I'll send you the audio blip from Spotify. You're gonna listen to it and laugh your fucking balls off.
That's amazing.
It's clearly a script that they just funneled into a book.
Yeah. They're already making the movie. But I'll tell you what's a better book than Heat 2. A Little Blood and Dancing by Tyler Parker.
Well, that's sweet of you. I don't know. Heat 2 sounds pretty fucking good, and he was a fucking fantastic piece of work. But no, I mean, you're a fucking sweetheart, Ian, for having me on here and for blurbing the book. Like, that was massive. So, no, I'm stoked to be here, terrified that everybody's going to read it. But yeah, hopefully it goes well.
Can you give the elevator pitch on the book for the listeners? We do have some people who read who listen.
Yeah, elevator pitch on the book. 5-year-old girl watches her dad get shot. Then the book follows her and then the guy that shot her dad, kind of parallel narratives. You see a woman that he marries, falls in love with. You see her their paths sort of diverge. She starts to get very religious and gets a lot older, realizes, oh, dude is still around and doing quite well for himself. And it kind of snaps and is like, hey, God, I know thou shalt not kill. For sure, totally, it's bad, but this guy sucks, right? Like, this guy's terrible.
That's how I would talk to God.
And I don't do anything wrong.
Thank you for giving Sean the cliff notes to this, by the way.
That sounds tight, dude.
It does sound really good.
No, and then it's basically her trying to talk herself into it, and then that's kind of it. That's the book.
I love the title.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. There's Hakeem Olajuwon references.
Yes, there are exactly 34 Hakeem Olajuwon references in the book, and I include Dream in that number because sometimes he's just referred to as that. But yeah, there were like 31 or 32, and then I realized that there were oh, there should be 34, you dumbass. And so then I shoehorned in 2 more or whatever. And so yeah, we got 34.
Does it take place in Houston or something?
It does. It takes place in Oklahoma, and the book's.
Well, I'm not gonna read it now. The Texan, I refuse.
You weren't gonna read it before.
I
I've
did.
been reading a book a month. That was my goal this year. What'd you get through a fucking Archie magazine?
Shut up.
Shane, I think you'd love this book. You should read it.
It sounds like right up my tea. Right up my tea.
Right up your tea kettle.
Right up your tea. That's great. I'm gonna, dude, we are, Shane, I do apologize, but we are gonna blurb that and put that on the Penguin Random House page. It sounds right up my tea.
It's right up my tea.
Go ahead and do it, brother.
Thank you. No, yeah, thank you, Ian, for having me, dude. I'm stoked all around. This is fun to be here.
It's fantastic. People are gonna love it. They're gonna buy it. They're gonna read it. I can't believe it comes out tomorrow. You must be so excited. You also write for The Ringer?
I do, yes. Yeah, NBA final. Yeah, it's like all coming to a head now. Like the finals could end tonight, and then the book comes out tomorrow. So yeah, Tuesday's gonna be a little busy, I think.
We can just say Denver won the finals at this point.
That's
they
right.
Won it.
Yes, we can.
They won it Monday night, June 12th. In Denver.
It's gonna be a better time for your book to come out, I think, because this is like the worst sports time of the year. After this series ends, it's gonna be nothing but baseball for 2 months. Ugh.
Yeah, I tried watching some baseball last night.
I went to my first Yankee game this year.
If I'm there
in person.
If I'm there, for sure, that's the only way, though.
I think that might be one of the biggest swings, just in terms of enjoyment of any activity.
Yeah.
And I wonder what other things are like. I have absolutely no interest unless I'm there in person.
Concerts.
Next time you're on this show, my friend.
Yeah,
that's a good draft.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, there you go. Well,
Dude, concerts for sure. You ever see somebody filming that? I mean, of course you do, on their phone, and you're like, who are you showing that to? Where they wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just gonna watch the music video. I don't want to see your concert footage from your phone.
Good concert films. Obviously, there's some like legendary ones, but like I don't know.
It's a rarity.
It's a rarity,
that they're worth watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Ian Carmel, at Ian Carmel on Twitter, at Ian Carmel on Instagram, at Ian Carmel on TikTok, at Ian Carmel on... Oh, God, I got to keep coming up with these. I've done like 300 of them. Ian Carmel on Jewish MGM. Oh, that's a good one. The MGM Points app on my phone. Because you can see me at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 7th, 8th, and 9th. I will be there during the first weekend of Summer League.
Oh,
doing
nice.
stand-up comedy. Yeah.
Dude, I gotta come. Could I come?
I would love for you to come. That
I
would
want
be
to come
fantastic.
watch. That would
Come
be
watch.
great.
I'll be at the basketball games during the day at Jimmy Kimmel at night, and then we'll see after that.
Hell yeah.
We'll see after that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come see me there if you're in Las Vegas, or if you're going to be in Las Vegas for Summer League or otherwise. And you will have seen us in Denver, and you will see us in Denver again probably. We're not supposed to announce it yet, right?
Not yet.
No.
No, but
Isaac, put that January 6th thing right there and
Yeah,
act
definitely.
like Ian said it. AI, Ian's voice, even though he's
Alan
alive, could do
Iverson,
it.
please, Alan Iverson, my voice.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We talking about Denver? Denver? Not Fort Collins. Not Fort Collins. Not Fort... Denver?
Not Boulder that I love.
That I love. Not Boulder. Shout out to Deion Sanders.
That I died
Shout out to Shane's boy, Deion Sanders.
that's right, good friend.
Must be the money.
We used to play craps together when he was in Atlanta. It was a different time.
Used to fly to Miami, bet on Highline, fly back same day.
Shane and I saw Highlight fucking Alley or whatever you call it in Boise. Remember we were walking around in Boise and we're like, they play Highlight in here, and then they let us go in and look at it. You remember that?
Yeah, it's a fucking violent looking sport.
It's crazy.
Highlight in Boise?
There's a place where they play Highlight. We're like, let's go in.
Boise's a weird place, though.
Yeah, just a long hallway, and we're like, they showed us the thing, and I was like, so they just fling shit. It goes all the way over there, and they're like, yeah, it goes fast. This is interesting.
How is it violent though? What are they like?
It's just like, if you don't know what you're doing, when I say violent, the proximity of it looks like, if you don't do it right, the injury is going to be fucking horrible.
In Boise style, they let one of the guys have a machete.
Yeah, and also, there's a lot of cattle branding. It's very
Yeah.
bizarre.
They keep points on the side of a cow. It's primal.
Boise style is I think you add Boise style to any menu item, I'd probably give it a shot.
Oh,
Sure.
God.
It's not going to be smart, but it's going to be good.
It's going to involve a lot of shaving, I think. I don't know.
Tyler, have you been to Boise before?
I've never been to Boise.
We've all been to Boise.
I would love to go. I would love to go to Boise. I
was just there.
I would love to go. I've never been to Idaho. Never.
Shane and I shared a hotel room. We were done with each other by the end of the week.
Yeah. That's great. I was driving through the mountains in Colorado this weekend. I saw a Taco John's, and I thought about that. Some made me go fucking like 6 miles out of the way to stop at a Taco John's.
Cry me a river, dude. So we get there, we go through the drive-thru, and then Shane, this is how done with each other we were. I know I've told this before, but he goes and parks, and he starts eating, and I was like, what's up? Are we not gonna drive or go in? And Shane goes, and you can say you didn't say this all you want. He goes, I don't like to eat inside places. And I was like, you fucking liar. So
No, I don't like to eat inside fast food restaurants. I don't like to eat inside fast food restaurants. I went inside and ate.
Shane sat in the car like we just got divorced or something. And then I came back out. I got in the car, and then we drove 6 hours home. And then that woman was trying to get across the sidewalk, and we were blocking it because we had to get out from the Chase Bank. She goes, I guess I'll go around. And he goes, yeah, I guess you fucking will.
She was shitty.
I know.
That was the chase on 39th and Hawthorne, right?
I remember it like it was yesterday, my friend. Yes.
She was like, I guess I'll go around. I was like, yeah, you will. I can't see. Fucking Sal.
It was great. Anyway.
It feels like you've gotten over it.
No, the cloven-hoofed wolf. She was so mean for no goddamn reason.
Oh yeah, you run into those kind of people. I ran into one of those people outside of the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
She was pushing a stroller. I assume.
Yeah, I might be the bad guy in this episode of the podcast.
That's all right. That's all right. Now we're gathered here today not to impugn the character of people who aren't able to appear on microphone to defend themselves, but to fancy draft places to pee that aren't a toilet. Now, I came into this thinking it was places to pee that aren't a bathroom, but we're about to find out.
Well, I mean, I can play jazz with... I just have some stuff that might sometimes be in a bathroom.
Yeah, sometimes it...
Trust me, dude. I peed a lot in my life, so I'll get it done.
I pee every day.
Yeah, dude.
You don't even know how much.
No, you guys have no idea. I'm on blood pressure medication. I pee more than anybody, dude. I'm peeing right now.
Does it make you pee more?
Yeah, the way some of it works is it gets the water out of your blood, so you just like constantly pissing, dude. Piss City over here.
Mississippi.
Piss City was a Tammy Wynette song?
Piss City.
Have you ever listened to that song, Piss City?
Piss City's an unbelievable song.
It's so great. It's about a woman trying to sleep with her husband.
It's like, if you don't stop, I'm going to take you to Fist City. She's like, I'm going to beat your ass if you don't stop. I'm coming around my husband. It's unbelievable.
Well, the man I love puts garbage in the can, and that's what you look like to me, Fist City.
Whoa, really?
You serious?
Yeah.
Dude, Tammy Wynette and Loretta Lynn have some absolute like bangers and lines that'll make your eyebrows wiggle. Like they both of them have total heaters.
Yeah, they are tough like country root women. Like they're
Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man, right? Like that's Tammy Wynette.
Oh dear.
Or is that Loretta?
Maybe I'm wrong. Honestly, they probably both sang it. I'm gonna get my country card revoked.
Tammy Wynette. That's Tammy Wynette.
She's just like, yeah, even if they suck, you know, it's just it's just her being a hard ass where she's like, whatever, I just do whatever.
Just got her heels dug in.
Loretta wrote a song about the pill, like in like the early days. Like
That's
she was
dope.
like, you know, hardcore.
Yeah.
Are there still country artists like doing that kind of thing? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood kills a guy in almost every song.
Yeah.
It's awesome. She gets all about dudes. Like one of them, she poisons a guy that hit his wife. It's dope. She's
I
always
really
killing
liked
dudes.
Amanda Shire's album from last year was really good.
She's amazing.
Her husband, Jason Isbell, is fantastic. Maren Morris has some good shit.
Went to high school with her.
Did you really?
She went same high school, same town, or same time, and so we'd see each other around. She used to go to punk shows and stuff.
That's rad. That's super cool.
Maren Morris, Jessica Leah Mayfield's really good, but she's kind of like not as country, I would say. She's got some weird stuff, but she's fun.
There's a guy named, Sturgill's amazing, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
There's
One of the best live shows I've ever seen.
He's like a 10 even on like YouTube stuff. Like if you just see like him in a guitar with like some other dude, or him on a banjo, it's unbelievable. I don't even like the banjo, and it's just like incredible.
I don't know how people play that thing. That's fucking crazy. That's
Steve Martin.
Ask Steve Martin?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask Steve Martin is, where would you like to pee if it's not a toilet?
Yeah,
That's
let's
what we're
get smart. Let's stop talking about
What do you think he would say? There's one Dirty Rotten Scoundrels reference there.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yes, there is. Now, the way we determine the order of this draft is through a rollicking game of rock, paper, scissors, played between the three of you. And we throw and shoot. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shane wins! He throws a rock against two scissors. Shane Torres, as the winner of rock, paper, scissors, it is incumbent upon you to determine the order of today's draft. Before you do that, I will remind you, it is a serpentine draft. And what does that mean? It's an excellent question.
I just saw a garter snake slither away yesterday. It is like...
Is that when Laura was in the yard?
When I was sipping my mint julep with my big hat going, there's more weeds over on the corner, Laura.
Honey, get the shovel. Get it with the shovel.
Laura, you know a snake scares the death out of me. It went over by the other weeds on the dark side of the yard.
Bring it here so I can take a look at it and then send it into a Mabel's yard.
Sean, you sound like an 80-year-old man learning to read.
That's what's gonna be happening.
I'm already terrified of the dark side of the yard. I don't know what that entails. But that sounds terrifying. And if it's me and I'm at that house, I'm exactly like that guy. I'm like,
Dark side of the yard.
I'm like, y'all go to the dark side of the yard. I'm gonna be over here on the standing in the light, baby. I got no interest in the dark side of the yard.
So it's like watching a snake.
Is that part of your youth group? Is that part of your youth group sermon, the dark side of the yard? You can stand in the shadow of Christ. Or you can walk over to the dark side of the yard.
Where the snakes are.
And the heaven is a hammock between two mighty oaks.
Before you're married, you're going to want to go to the dark side of the yard, young people. Don't do it. You will burn in hell if you do. It's like watching a garter snake slither away. Little to the right, little to the left.
Heaven is a woman working for you, doing manual labor in your yard, while you have some tasty beverage and just kick back.
She's still out there. I'm talking about the most immature shit I think I've talked about in weeks. She's just out there working on the yard.
Also, it's pretty. She's fair-skinned. She's a fair-skinned woman. That sun's not going to be easy on her.
Also, shouldn't she be like fixing the plumbing right now? Like, I mean, is there more important? Is there probably more pressing
Is there
stuff?
some Taco John's that ruined it? You know.
We don't have Taco John's up here. The closest one's in Spokane, I think.
How's your roof? Is she getting up there next, or is that still all good?
Dude, I got up there and painted the chimney box. You want to see some baby? You want to see some baby giraffe legs? You get somebody who doesn't know how to paint on a roof, painting the tallest thing on the roof. I was terrified. And then our roofers came over. I was like, "People fall off the roof, right?" And they go, "Oh yeah." Like a lot. Anyway, did we get an explanation in there?
Shane, basically what it means is if you pick fourth in the first round, you pick first in the second. Now, with that in mind, what will the order of today's fantasy draft be?
I'm going first. Tyler will go second. Sean will go third. And Ian will go fourth.
Hot corner. I'm going last. Shane Torres, you have the first pick. And the places to be that are not a bathroom. All fantasy, everything fantasy draft. And we're going to get to that first pick right after this short break.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listen, sometimes in life, you're faced with tough choices. What am I, splitting the atom over here? Of course you are. Every single day, every single choice you make, they're all tough in some way or another. The path forward isn't always super clear, and that's just how it's going to be. You know, whatever you're dealing with, it could be decisions around a career, it's relationships, anything else. Therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you're navigating life. You know, you're focused on all those other things, and therapy just kind of helps you center your choices. And it always seems like if everything's going great, there's always like one thing that could use some attention. You know what I mean? It's always going to be like that. I struggle even when things are perfect, or as close to perfect as they can be, I always get nervous because I feel like I'm forgetting about something or the bottom's about to fall out. It's just human nature. It's just how you feel and conceive things. And with therapy, they just guide you through that. They give you a helping hand. You know, it's helpful for learning positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, which is way more important than I ever thought. It's one of the most important things I've ever learned how to do. It's going to empower you to be the best version of yourself, because if you're not doing you, you can't do anyone else. You cannot help others to the best of your ability unless you are helping yourself first. Sounds corny, but I'm right. You know I'm right. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely done online, designed to be convenient. It's extremely flexible, suited to your schedule. You just go fill out a brief questionnaire, then you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch at any time for no additional charge because they want to help you. They want it to be a good fit, and it's a two-way street. If you don't like who you're dealing with, you can keep shopping. So give it a shot. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/allfantasy to get 10% off your first month. Again, that's betterhelp.com/allfantasy. This episode of All Fantasy Everything is brought to you by Bespoke Post. Now, of all the packages that get dropped off at my door, hands down, the best box I open every month is My Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post. My Box of Awesome, it's filled with carefully chosen gear from the best small brands around the world, and it could be anything. They have almost anything you want to suit your personality. Now, this month, your boy got a dope cooler, one of those like bendy, flexible coolers that you can like ball up and make look like a tiny little backpack. But it's also, it's actually really sizable. It's not as cumbersome as a cooler, like a big one, but it also can fit 40 drinks in there if I wanted to. And I could carry it just fine. It also has a little bottle opener in it. It's got a little mesh part up on the top if I want to separate some things, like if there's utensils, let's say, some straws, things like that. Or if I want to put documents up there, like I'm going to have an important picnic. It's got side pockets. It's got a strap and a handle, so I can look like I'm strong or I can look like I'm smart, because let's face it, that's the argument versus straps and handles. And it's just great. I can't wait to break it in this summer. I already got the rivers in mind that I'm going to take it to, and it's a nice little earthy color too, so I'm going to fit right in here in Portland. I'll have my bottle opener, just crack it open, let everybody know what time it is, because obviously they ain't got this cooler like I got. And again, no matter what you got going on this summer, Box of Awesome has you covered, from camping gear essentials. They got cookout must-haves, some drink game upgrades. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. To get started, just take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers are going to help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every single month across a ton of different categories. Each box is valued at almost $70, give or take. So you're getting a great deal. You're only going to pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each Box of Awesome, you're supporting small businesses, because 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small, up-and-coming brand. Free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel at any time. So give it a shot. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code ALLFANTASY at checkout. Again, that's boxofawesome.com, code ALLFANTASY for 20% off your first order. boxofawesome.com, code ALLFANTASY.
Yeah, we're back. Welcome back to All Fantasy Everything, the podcast of make sure you, right before this, we had a lengthy conversation that touched on Jimmy Butler and the Alan Jackson song Chattahoochee. If you want to hear that, subscribe to our Patreon for the exclusive pre-roll and mid-roll content. But right now, it's time to figure out where we're peeing that isn't a toilet. And the first person is Shane Torrance.
Yeah, Shane. Where are you draining that dirty little pickle at?
You think beating off and taking a leak are the same thing?
That's what you call beating off, is draining your dirty little pickle?
Oh, I thought you said were you jerking that dirty little pickle?
What if you had to masturbate to pee? Oh my god.
You can see me jerking my little dirty pickle at my goobies in Baltimore, June 27th.
Or on the G train with everybody else. I live in New York.
I'll be jerking my dirty little pickle at Stress Factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
That will be. Yeah, come get tickets for that. ChaseComedian.com. The one thing I don't take a piss on is the stage. I value you spending your evening with me.
Yeah, you can take a big shit on it. Go, dickhead.
For me, I never like to go first, but I wanted this one badly, so I'm just gonna do it. The Wembanyama of this draft is Graves.
I told Laura that. I was like, if I have to, if it gets down to 19, and I'll pick Graves as my last pick. Dude,
Graves?
You're a lunatic. I can't believe that went first.
That is the dark part of the yard right there.
That is amazing.
I've never done that. I've always been scared. I've never
That's
done it.
because you're afraid to live.
You pissed on a grave?
Psychopath.
Don't worry about what I do.
Have you ever pissed on a grave?
You know, I will admit that. I peed out of my eyes on my dad's grave.
Don't you think you came out of your eyes?
I couldn't even say it. Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, I pissed on a grave.
You have pissed on a grave?
Yeah.
I made my
What grave
stomach
did you
hurt.
piss on?
That's between me and that person.
Some guy who cut you off in traffic 10 years ago. Oh, it wasn't that lady's grave, was it? With the stroller when we got back from Boise?
Well, nobody ever saw her. Nobody ever saw her again.
You just got lost in the dark part of the yard and started going, and there was a grave there.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It's just some cat that was buried, some family cat that was buried in the backyard.
It's hard to find space on the dark part of the yard that doesn't have a grave in it.
I had Robert De Niro do a voiceover for my doorbell. It says, a lot of secrets buried in the dark part of the yard.
A lot of secrets buried in the
But
dark.
it's in the dark part of the yard where a lot of those secrets are buried. That's
There's
so
a lot of
crazy.
secrets.
You have a child older than Robert De Niro's child.
Well,
That's
she's in the
insane.
yard doing yard work right now too. I think she's
Yeah.
there with her mom
Yeah.
pulling weeds.
Secrets in the yard. Secrets
Good.
in the yard.
Graves. Number one, Graves.
Yeah, man. We can
I
stop
can't,
talking.
no. Was that not on anyone else's list?
I didn't have it on my list.
I had it dead last on my
It was
list.
not on mine, but I'm honestly, Shane, like, I'm devastated it wasn't on my list, and I think it says a lot of bad things about me that it wasn't on my list.
I figured with the synopsis of your book you gave, that was the cover of it.
The string fist coming out of the top right corner. Just one of the great. It should be. I mean, I like flamingos. Maybe the flamingo is the one doing the pissing.
Which non-evil person? Let's do a little mini draft here. Non-evil. We can't all pick Hitler. I don't know if he even has a grave. He doesn't even have a gravesite. But like, whose grave would you like to piss on?
You mean an evil person?
Not an evil person.
No, somebody who would think it was
They
funny.
can't be like evil. They can't be actually evil. Like they can't have like been responsible for a bunch of death.
You have one? You posed this.
I'm trying to think here. I'd like to piss on the grave of the person who invented Miracle Whip. I find it disgusting. I don't like it. I don't like that it's an option. I'd also like to
Classically,
pee
I
on the
can't tell
grave.
Not evil. Okay.
Whoever
yeah.
invented sweet pickles, I piss on your grave.
So it's all culinary stuff.
It's an inferior pickle. I'd like to piss on the grave of the person who designed those packages that CD players came in the 90s. Because I consistently injured myself trying to
Big ones.
Every locksmith I've ever had to call,
Yeah.
even though they've done the job, fuck you. Yeah, that's probably one of them.
You piss on locksmith graves.
Yeah, because whatever. This was $300.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, anyone who owns a framing business, I piss on your grave. Also, why is that so expensive?
Dude, frames are so expensive. What is that?
They are.
What is that?
They are.
It does not seem like, unless there are wonderful designs that someone took a lot of time on.
Yeah, it's right. If it's a beautiful frame, fine, whatever. Like if it's art itself.
That frame there, this one up top,
Yeah.
it's a standard size print concert poster.
Yeah,
How much do you think it should cost to frame?
I think it should cost $10.
Yeah, 10, 15 bucks.
Yeah.
Is that with or without the picture of you in high school wearing your Letterman jacket tucked in the corner like I can see right now for all the listeners?
What are you talking about?
I was just making that up. Oh, that's for the listeners. This is an audio medium.
Sean's not evil, but definitely on his grave.
I'll wake up and rip your pickle up. Pee on my grave.
I didn't buy the frame. It was a custom job, and I think it was $100.
Too much.
Yeah.
50.
Cool. Shane's out here getting custom framed. I get it.
Yeah.
There were some people driving through Eagle Rock that were like one of those like Trump car parade things back before the election. And I remember, and I'm not a confrontational person at all, but I remember I like flipped them off like double birds out the window, like something like Papa Bear came over me sort of thing.
Yeah.
And even now when I think about it, I'm like, man, I really don't like those people at all. And I think I would be happy to piss on most of their graves.
Yeah, I'd pee on their graves.
Yeah.
I'd piss on their graves.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those, like, there's a woman that outside of a Chase Bank. I haven't thought about her in years, but I know how mad I was in that moment because my mouth tastes acidic right now. Just thinking about.
Every single time I see, I know that's a very popular intersection. Every single time I go there, I'm just like, I give a little chuckle. We were so done with each other.
Tyler Parker, it is time for your first pick. Where are you peeing?
Mine is not as exciting as that, I don't think, and I hope it's not too vague. But I'm saying in the ocean.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, fantastic.
I love a good ocean pee because there are no consequences for it whatsoever, and it's the way to get back to the beach the fastest. You don't got to go find a bathroom at wherever. Like,
remarkably convenient. Yeah, for what it is. Yeah.
This might come up again, but there's something, I don't know what it is, but like where you're just like, I'm just peeing. I'm just surrounded by water right now, and it's just coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And I don't feel dirty.
I don't feel dirty. It's not really going anywhere. I mean, it is because you can feel warm immediately too. That's also kind of fun.
I would like to be more evolved than to say that that's a part of it, but that's part of it that I enjoy is that it does feel nice and warm whenever it happens. I'll say.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like someone's gonna call you on it? Like if you're out there with someone, they're just like, why are you so quiet?
Yeah. What are you daydreaming about?
There is the peeing in the water. There is the peeing in the ocean face where you're just like, it's nothing.
And the only way to like lays it off is just to like look out and be like, I'm taking in all this beauty, but really, you're pissing on it.
Your brain is like kind of quietly closing the door to your face. It's like, we're gonna leave him out of this, and this is just between me and my penis.
Sometimes if it's deep enough and the waves aren't too much, I even like to doggy paddle out a little past where I can stand and kind of pee on the move, kind of crop dust a little bit, kind of second level of Mario if I were peeing sort of thing. You know what I mean?
You know those jetpacks that have the water hose that like raise you up? It's kind of like that, a poor man's version of that.
She has great prostate health.
You're propelling yourself with a mighty stream. Yeah.
I think that the version of peeing in the ocean that Shane's talking about is just walking up, getting your feet in, and then just peeing in the ocean.
He goes up to his ankles and pisses himself, and then walks back to his blanket. To really complete the picture, he is wearing denim shorts.
Yeah.
And they're white.
He's facing the beach, goes out, gets up to his ankles, turns around, faces the beach, points at somebody, and pisses his white denim shorts, and then walks back to his blanket.
It just looks like a kitty litter box when I'm underneath.
And then he finishes his chili.
I face towards the beach.
And then you go back to your towel and you finish your bowl of chili that you brought from home.
My towel just says respect the moose on it.
Your beach chili.
Got a hot pot of beach chili stewing in it.
Before you leave, you walk over to them and say, "Never go in the dark part of the yard."
You're just pointing at your chili, going, "Don't touch my chili."
And then I put non-coral safe sunscreen all over my body.
Oh, it's fun. In the right ocean, sometimes I'll just be going for a swim, like you'll jump off a boat or whatever. It can also be like you pee right away when you get in the water. It can help take some of the sting off of being in a really cold water.
Ah,
yeah.
It is a nice on ramp into the cooler temperatures. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, Shane, wading out. And
That was Tyler's pick.
Even though it was Tyler's pick, Shane wading out and facing the beach.
I don't know how you guys picked me for the toilet humor episode.
Sean Jordan, where are you peeing? It's not a toilet.
The snow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had to be a first round pick. I don't know if it's first round talent. But
Oh, it's a
first
big
round,
left tackle. It's a big left tackle.
first
Absolutely.
round fun, baby.
Solid for years. Gonna get your consistency every year. A lot of starts. A lot of
You got 3 Pro Bowls out of this guy. Yeah. This isn't Tony Mandrich. This guy's gonna play.
I think you get like 6 Pro Bowls, like 1 All-Pro, but just like an anchor.
Yeah.
A lot of intangibles with this guy.
Whole family went to college. off
Little
this
fat
paycheck.
kids are gonna wear that jersey for the rest of their lives.
I think can probably play a lot of different positions on the line at different times. He can he can slide down to a guard, even play
It's
center
great.
in some.
You know what's great about a Snow Pea? I'm gonna say this. Awesome, sober, or drunk.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Only gets
Yeah.
better the drunker you are.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
makes the
but-
laser. You get to go like when you're doing it. It's the best.
like you're breaking into a safe in a
Yeah.
Mission Impossible movie.
I do it. I think it's more like I call it polar ice capping.
Yeah.
When I be in the snow.
Yeah, I'll just get out there, do it in the snow, and I'm like, I still know how to write in cursive. Look at that. It's my name. Cursive. Big cursive S.
It is a lot of fun to try to write a word in the snow with a P.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta really know you gotta know your bladder. You gotta be like, all right, how long do I have here? It's a cousin of writing on a sign.
Now,
You're like,
put a
am
heart-
I running out of space?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you put a heart on the top of the eye when you do it?
Little emoji peas. All right, malintent, and then a smiley face afterward.
I've been working on my thumbs ups, and they're really hard. Hard to get the knuckles
Man,
right. You know.
if I was on TikTok harder or at all, it'd be fun to start a little TikTok trend: emoji peas in the snow. One of you kids do that. Get out there and do it.
I'll do it. I need a break.
Shane's hook. The problem with it, like, you
Called
gotta
Dick Talk now.
you gotta remember when you pee, because like I be eating snow too. So you gotta keep a clean house.
Snow is the sushi of South Dakota. I grew up around it. I've been eating it my whole life, and so I don't clamor to eat snow like a grown man, like you would say when you're around snow a little bit.
I grew up going to the beautiful male hood. Now, Bachelor, the Pacific Northwest has plenty of places where you can eat snow, my friend. All right.
Yeah. So does Sioux Falls. The street, any one of the streets, you just pick up some snow and eat it, but have some salt in there, a little
Been
slush.
freshly crushed by a Ford F-350.
Yeah,
dude.
Somehow the snow's racist.
Yeah, red light, red light.
Packed tighter than a constipated snow cone.
Sean, you feel sincerely troubled by the fact that your wife is doing yard work right now. There's a pall hanging over you. I feel like a dark cloud.
See it in the winter when she shovels the driveway.
I like shoveling. I just hate doing yard work. I mean, I would be doing it. I'm going to. It's partly because I know I'm going to go do it right after this. It's like I can't.
Sorry, honey, it was a real long episode today.
You didn't hear. We were really breaking some new ground in there.
We did 7.
And then I'm just gonna go pick one. I'll come inside and be like, "Is this a weed?"
Max is hungry.
Tell her we drafted museums or something, you know?
Yeah.
She'll believe you had trouble coming up with a list.
Yeah, the museum from the score.
That might be the way to get out of this, Sean, is to be like, is this a weed? And then have it just be a rose.
Yeah.
Give it to her. Like, you can cute boy your way out of it a little bit.
Just nails to hold the house together. Is this a weed?
Yeah. You're my emotional support me.
The snow.
Time for my first and my second pick, so this is a serpentine draft. And I'm going to take side of the freeway.
Yeah, dude.
Back.
Great.
Yeah. It's tough because these last two are mainly just for dudes. You can do both if you're a woman, but I think it's much harder to do a side of the freeway piss.
Yeah, if they can ride in the snow with a woman, I'll marry her.
If you got to piss, you got to piss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a woman, you know what I mean? Like, my values that I put into places to piss that aren't a toilet is, how bad do I have to piss when I'm pissing there? Therefore, how satisfying is it when I actually do?
Yes.
How fun is it? How much mischief is there to the pee?
Yes.
And for me, this one there's a high mischief quotient, and there's a high I needed to piss here.
Well, no one's ever getting mad at you, though. It's the fun part about the mischievous part, because you get to do it, and no one's ever going to be like, hey, because you have to do it.
Sometimes you get the semi-truck honk honk, and then you're like, that is a triumphant piss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the relief is also like a thing. Not how bad, but like how good will I feel?
Oh yeah.
When I'm
back in the car, you're not.
And if it's the side of the road, you know it was a real one. People are like 1,000 people are driving by, and none of them get to judge you.
There is a beautiful ceremony to it, and it starts with the first thing is it's your decision to do it.
1,000%.
And you start to, and you're like, great, we're doing this. You start to slow down. You start to hear wheels on gravel on the side of the road, and then that slowing of the wheels on gravel, you know, like coming to a stop.
Right.
And then you get to walk out, take a look around. You're like, okay, where can I stand so nobody's gonna see my dick? What's the best place for me to do this?
Nowhere, bro.
Nowhere, dude.
Yeah, you don't want me getting that Leviathan out.
Also, Instagram living my dick while I pee. No, but you, like, and then just like it starts happening. You walk, you know. It also depends on the freeway. Sometimes you got to open the passenger car door to act as a buffer.
I love that move. I think that's a great. That's a move that really. That's like when you walk into a stall and the doors and everything are all the way down to the floor.
Yeah.
I really feel comfortable in that
Glendale
environment.
Galleria, man. Best public bathroom in the city of Los Angeles.
Interesting.
Or not the gallery, the Americana, across the street. The Americana.
Yeah.
Village Underground in New York, the Sellers Village Underground has individual stalls. Love, like, yeah, love that.
Street.
The Starbucks between Seattle and Portland, near that town that has the.
You actually referenced
I
this
know what you're
before
talking
to me.
about.
Yeah.
That
Stop
is, if you're driving from Portland to Seattle, that's the place to do your business because they have
That's a
single
great
occupancy
leap.
bathrooms. It's fantastic.
What is it about the bathroom there that makes it so alluring?
It's clean. Every time I've been in there, it's been like clean. It's well
Single
appointed, and
occupancy.
it's single occupancy.
Single occupancy is so big.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
Just a true privilege and pleasure to be there.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, people. Unsung heroes. I'm gonna adopt a highway in your name.
I also like if it's dark, you know, you wander off to just like the underbrush sometimes, and you'll pee over there. Also, it depends. You know, it can be a beautiful view sometimes.
Sometimes sometimes the sun is setting and the sky is clear and it's it's great.
And look at you being out there in the world.
Again, I'm imagining Shane facing the highway.
Shane standing in
the
one of the
middle
lanes.
Do it. HOV lane. That's my next spike piss.
White denim shorts.
I think you're on top of the car. I think you're on the roof.
I don't even unzip. I just go over the fence with everything, belt buckle included.
Over the fence? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You just hang your hog over the fence.
You go through the gate or over the fence.
Now, if we're talking spike peas,
Oh
let me
my
go ahead and make
gosh,
my
that's
second
tight.
pick here.
Okay.
Let me make my
All right.
second pick. I'm going to take on the side of a business that wouldn't let you use their bathroom.
God, man.
That is
Your big
I
daddy.
knew this was gonna get competitive.
Yes.
your big daddy. Yep.
Big daddy and that's great.
Yeah.
This piss is going somewhere. This piss is going somewhere. And you got to look at me right now and think, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of it's a standoff.
Yeah.
Take a look at my eyes and examine, is this guy going to walk outside and pee on my business? And I am.
And how important is your time? Do you really want to call the cops while you're at work? Do you
And also-
really want to do that?
Why are you being this petty?
Yeah.
Like, why are you being this petty?
It's so stupid. I didn't, like, I tried it. I was in Rome, and I asked to use somebody's bathroom, and they were like, you have to buy something. And I get that because I was an American tourist, and, like, I'm sure they're so annoyed by that. But, like, if I'm just in the city, I'm like, hey, can I use your bathroom? And you have to be a customer? Fuck you. Get out of here.
One of the you talk about like feeling relief on a piss. One of the like that's just ingrained in my mind was in New York. I sprinted up out of the subway because I had to go pee so bad, and there was a Pret a Manger that was right there right when I got out, and I went inside and I said, I'm so sorry, where's your bathroom? And they said, I'm sorry, it's for customers only. And I said, I have to pee so bad, I will buy something. Can I just please go use the restroom? She said, no, people say that, you have to buy something first. And so I grabbed water and I put my card down on the thing and I went and peed in the cake. I was just like, I don't care about my finances at all.
Whatever.
Take my money, cut my card up.
I'll die before, like, I gotta pee.
I will franchise this place. I will buy a Pret a Manger if I can pee.
Is that what it's called?
Pret a manger.
Oh dear, I said Pret a manger. My country ass.
I knew we were from a similar place when you said it wrong.
Jesus Christ.
That
It's like
that wasn't a subtle correct. I forgot.
No,
yeah.
Never heard of any of this, so I.
Pret a manger kind of rules, dude.
What is it?
I don't like it.
It's a corner
You
store.
don't like it? It's like they do little sandwiches. It's a more sandwich forward Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like everything is kind of pre-made, but it's fresh. Like I just don't. It's like all. It's like an elephant delicatessen or something where everything is you kind of just grab and.
Sounds like I would love it.
I have to be honest. If I just walked in there, fresh off the street, having no prior experiences with them, I would think it was a wonderful establishment. Considering my run-in with them, I would piss on the grave of Mr. Pret-a-Manger, Monsieur Pret-a-Manger, or whatever the hell he is, because like I'm not gonna go in there and like shit on the floor. Let me go pee. Like, come on. I sprinted in here. Do I look like a guy that's wanting to do that? I don't want to run ever.
Have some emotional intelligence.
Some of us aren't going to do that, and some of us do look like a guy that would do that.
That's great.
I'm just saying, I get when I walk in sometimes, but I'm not that guy. But I got a lot of long hair and a scraggly beard, you know.
Yeah.
I'm imagining you walk in and using the restroom, the test user restroom, but just saying, I know, but just hear me out.
Don't judge this book by its cover. I just got out of boxing
And the
class.
person, also with me, they're never going to be like, yeah, it's just a number one. Like,
Yeah, no, I know.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
I got a shit face.
yeah, we all got I got a shit face. I ain't fucking on there.
I don't have I got a shit face.
You 100% do.
No
you're not
way.
You're the front of this canoe.
Absolutely not. Nobody thinks I got a shit anymore.
No, you drop a few pounds, forget who you were.
I drop a few pounds now. I don't have to drop a few pounds.
Yeah.
The front of this canoe and the dark side of the yard are two, honestly, just all-time couplets.
That's what Shane calls his fists.
The front of the canoe and the dark side of the yard.
Which do you want? You can handle it.
It sounds like prison slang.
Yeah.
threw the gator over the fence. That's what I'm getting out of this. There we go.
Yes, through the gate. Yes, that great job.
Sean, time for your pick.
So here's where the bathroom's going to come into play. The shower. Can I pick that?
Well, there are showers that are not in bathrooms, so I'm 100%.
I tend to not piss in those ones.
Yeah.
Those aren't the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one in my bathroom.
Yeah. I don't face the beach when I piss in the ocean.
Now, I don't have to pick this, but it's like, to me, it was obviously.
You can pick the shower.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a high quality pick.
Yeah.
I think very good.
it just it happens. I do not do it in shared spaces. So like, I won't pee in someone else's shower, or like if I'm in a hotel room with other people, I won't
When
do
Flora's gotten in from a long day out in the yard, just like removing stumps and pulling weeds, and she's
I don't
like
even
ready
take
for
a shower when I go in there. Yeah.
She might find that shower full of your piss.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
full of me wearing clothes. You know, where I'm like, yeah, this is just, I was just making sure. We have.
Oh, sorry, a shower full of your piss. Oh God.
Yeah. It's all code red.
It was like a volume vision that I got. Like it was.
Yeah, I shut the door.
It's like one of those opaque showers, and then it looks like a dirty dump tank that hasn't been cleaned in a while.
The amount of Mountain Dew Sean's drinking, you know what that piss looks like.
Dude, someone messed around and gave me a case of Mountain Dew, and I'm drinking them. Like, I just started chipping away, and you get like halfway through a case, and you're like, well, I'm gonna drink the case.
Laura might like a nice cold Mountain Dew out in the yard right now.
I doubt it. I know.
Yeah, me too.
She might want some help.
What is she planning on blaming him?
She gets really bummed out when I help, hates flowers, you know.
Yeah. So she's out there planting a flaming hot Cheetos bush for you.
That's not why she's burying the flaming hot Cheetos in the yard.
Yeah, you water it with the rest of the case of Mountain Dew. That's how it grows.
When a 7-Eleven franchise pops
The
up.
shower, it's like, you know, it pops. That was the first thing where I'm like, you go through the period in life where you say you don't do it, then you get old enough, you're like, yeah, I do it.
I pee in the
everybody does.
shower. Y'all ever hear that rumor that it's like good for athlete's foot to pee on your foot?
I did not hear that.
I heard that rumor.
I've heard that. The jellyfish thing, that's real, right?
That's very real.
That's real.
I've
Yeah.
seen people do that, and it helps.
Yeah.
What, if you put a jellyfish in your pocket and go to Las Vegas, you're going to win on a slot machine? Is that what you're talking about?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, Sean, if you get stung by a jellyfish.
Yeah, you're supposed
And
to pee
Sean,
on
if
it.
you could not repeat me again for the rest of the pod, that'd be great, man,
Yeah, I've heard the jellyfish thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shower.
The shower.
Yeah.
Tyler, time for your second pick.
Sean, I like the idea of you being like, hey, babe, heads up. It's going to look like melted highlighter in there. Just freak out because, pee's clean. That was the rumor that I always remember about pee is like, did you know that when you pee, it's actually cleaner than right after you wash your hands?
Yeah, I've heard that
That was my favorite pee-related rumor.
Unless you've been drinking so much Mountain Dew that your pee looks like brown butter.
Yeah. It's all right. I haven't even looked at water in about a week, so.
Your pee like brown butter.
Yeah, it looks like something that would kill Spider-Man.
Your pee looks like New York City last week when the Canadian wildfire smoke came
That
through.
shit was wild.
I mean, it happened in Portland 3 years ago. That's where the sky was actually Terminator style, where you're like,
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah.
That's wild.
Anyway, yeah, shower.
My number 2 pick, I will take off a back porch at night.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
Yes.
I feel this is, to me, I really thought about making it my number 1 overall, but I just love a tinkle in the ocean. But
Yeah, you
this
got to get a quarterback.
Yeah, you got to get somebody that's going to lead the team. But this is obviously a burner who people are going to have a hard time staying with on the outside. I think we're going to stretch some defenses, and I think we're going to catch a lot of people napping early on.
That's not a defense. That's your scrotum that you're stretching.
You know what I love about this pick? It's what it implies about the people you're with when it happens. Because it just says, like, you're amongst good company.
Nobody cares because we're all going to do it too. When we have to
You're
go, we're going to
comfortable.
do it.
You are
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
I think it implies that you're all either already out there or it's we're in the room that's right off the porch and it's kind of a indoor outdoor situation. Mm-hmm. There's usually like drinks, right? It's just very communal, very fun, and honestly, air on the testicles really feels fantastic. So especially when you're like outside at night,
Yep.
And also the splashdown. If you get to hear it land, that's an amazing
Splashdown.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because you don't want grass, you want a rock or something. You want to hear some pop.
First Officer Torres splashing down.
Well, you kind of want to explore, I think. You want to find that rock, and then you're like, let me give it a little swivel here. Let me see what else I can find.
I love giving myself little challenges when I have little elevation and I'm peeing down into an area that I can see. Let me see if I can hit this little piece of mulch. Let me aim here. Let me see if I can go between the slats of the fence. Maybe let me see if early on I can go up over the top, depending on the where we fall on my waistline, the fence. You know what I mean?
That rock has some bark dust on it. Can I clear the bark dust?
Absolutely, yes.
Start going like pressure washer challenges.
I think it's a lot of fun also to water the plants. I think if it's a big leaf and the lighting is right, it can honestly be pretty beautiful. I think I think it'd be pretty scenic.
It's cleaner than when you wash your hands.
Get it.
So you might as well.
What if plants have like spirits or whatever? We just don't know about it, and they're just every time they're just like again with this guy.
Again with
like one of those people that's in a coma and they're just like they're awake but the doctors don't know it, so they're in there and be like, God, this sucks, and like I can hear you the whole time.
I think if plants have spirits and souls, they are advanced enough and exist on long enough timelines that they are completely at peace with being peed on.
Okay, it's a good
What
thing.
if they're sick little freaks, dude, and they love it?
Yeah. You do a little ficus. You filthy little ficus. Bitch ass oak tree.
Don't be done.
Don't be done.
Drink more water, you little.
Speaking of sick little freaks, Shane Torres, stumping his second and third picks.
Okay. I'm going to say this, and I completely understand if it's a no.
Rave off the
Well,
board.
I want to see if I found a loophole here.
I bet
Because
you
it requires a toilet
Uh-huh.
on a dookie streak. Peeing away a dookie streak.
You can't pick it, but I did literally almost just bring it up.
Okay.
That isn't a toilet. That isn't a toilet.
But you see the satisfaction.
It is another fun challenge. Another fun. Let's see what I got.
I get why I can't take it, but I couldn't not try.
I think if you do that in public, it should count towards community service hours.
Yeah. Okay. So no dookie streak. I'm gonna go.
I'm glad you brought it up though, because it is one of life's true pleasures and one of the most altruistic things you can do.
Yeah.
I'm imagining you walking out of the bathroom, Ian, of these places, and being like, "So let me tell you what I just did for you," and now you can tell me what you're gonna do for me.
Not only did I do that, but I also noticed that you have an onion ring tower on your mouth.
Look, yeah, I cleaned the bathroom. You'll pick up the check.
I go ahead and put a dookie streak back just because I took it away. So.
And then you say, and then the manager goes, "That's why he's our best customer."
There's some training in there, and they're like, "Okay, so this is Ian. You'll see him on."
Yeah. Look, like not everyone gets to do this, but Ian does get to do this. So, yeah.
P and Ian, they call him.
P and Ian, dude.
So since I can't do that, I am going to say right outside the bar.
Yeah,
like
dude.
just wasted.
Wonderful.
And then just.
Only ticket I ever got for
and
Ian
I
was
gotta
for
take
doing
a few steps back because I've got a real puddle going on.
Yeah.
Starts to get towards your feet, and you're like, no.
Noi.
This is a primal pee. This is This is your lizard brain. Here because you just walked out of a building that had a bathroom in it.
Yeah.
It's the closest to like medieval times you get where you're just like, whatever. And you just stumble out.
I find that those also often accompany I'll even, at least early until the puddle gets too great, I got my arm on the wall a lot of the time.
I got a photo of me. I was with Kanane right before the pandemic. We were in Tampa. We ended up at some strip clubs and all this other kind of shit. Wherever we went.
In Tampa, man? How did you find a strip club?
That's crazy.
Yeah, a needle and a stack of needles.
I just followed all the Hummers. I just went through I think it was Tampa. But there's a photo of me just doing this. It's my back and my arms are in the air, and I'm taking a wild piss.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you had two hands up piss?
Yeah. We went and saw.
You were fire hosing?
Yeah, we went and saw Lucero, which is like one of my favorite bands, and I got all rip roaring jump, and this is how pissed drunk I was. The next morning I was wearing the shirt I bought, and it already had stains on it. Yeah. and Kyle was like, "Did you eat in that last night?" And I was like, "No, I just put it on this morning." And then I remember there were just hot pockets all over my rib.
Bought a new Eaton shirt at the Lucero show.
Well, if you like country music, they're a great band to check out. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
That we were in Yankton, South Dakota, and we walked outside at the back of the bar and did that, and me and my buddy got tickets. It was like $400. We had to go to court, and the dude was doing it. He was giving us tickets, and there were 40 people probably doing it, and he picked us. And I was like, bro,
it's probably your beta.
Why are you doing this, man? You really got to do this. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a college town. It's a Saturday night. This has to happen all the time. Anyway, don't know if I ever paid him.
No, you're probably going to prison.
It's Daddy Yankton, bro.
I wrote about this on the Ringer once, but I almost got arrested for public urination on the night that the Thunder got beat by the Warriors in the 2016 Western Conference Finals, Game 6.
All bets should be off.
It should have been. I was with my wife at Princeton for her reunions, and I was watching it at like a towny bar. I had gotten there to the bar like early.
Your friends must think you fuck like a champ. I can't understand. Like if she went to Princeton,
dude. one of her friends, who her name is Ruth, and she is wonderful. She showed up to watch.
Is she 80 years old?
She showed up to watch the game, the second half of the game, and she's a Warriors fan, and I was so pissed drunk. And I'm not a confrontational person. I think I even said that earlier. But she was trying to say goodnight to me after the game, and apparently I wouldn't turn around.
Good man.
And then I was hammered and went down an alley, and Blythe shouted after me right as I was about to drop trowel. She just shouted cops, and I got back to neutral before they came around the corner, and the cop came around with a flashlight, and I was just like, oh, I'll play smart, and I shouted at Blythe. I said, no, Blythe, it's not back here. And and that was that. And
yes, that is like I'm Tom Cruise hanging from a ceiling.
Yeah.
And and then one drop of sweat lands.
It was one of those things like the cop didn't buy it at all, but I also hadn't peed or anything. There was no. He also had nothing. You know what I mean?
He's got nothing on you.
He had nothing.
It's not illegal to scout for a place to pee.
No.
I feel like that's what I'm doing most of the time.
Any cop that's giving you a ticket for that, you were such a fucking asshole.
Especially on I'm not bothering anybody there. I'm going down this. Just let me go home, man. I'm trying to not be your problem anymore. I'm trying to go be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually getting more sober if you let me do this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go be 7-Eleven's problem and then my bed's problem.
The way to make everything copacetic would be for you to disappear, so I could just piss right now like I was about to.
Yeah.
And then everything's cool.
They should have to bag up the evidence if they're going to get you in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Shane Torres, third pick.
Third pick. To be fair, I wrote this down, Tyler, before I knew you were from Oklahoma.
It's okay.
But that state, anywhere. Freedom.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What's your beef? Eat a pork chop.
I'm from Texas.
Holy shit, Shane! I'm so excited for you. Please read the first page of the second chapter of my book.
Oh, do you go? You got something coming already?
I kill Bevo in the second paragraph, I think.
No, you can't kill Bevo. He's an idea.
Now, Bevo, this is some stupid Texas thing?
He's the Longhorn, baby.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. It's a mascot of a Sooner. Ugh.
Shane drafts the Yellow River Shootout.
Yeah, we're not winning any ideological battles with the Sooners nickname on that at all.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to? I've never been to. Oh, I drove through Oklahoma.
I drove through it once, and the whole time it smelled like shit.
Yeah, Texas, there's a place that never smells like shit. Drive through West Texas.
That's right, because it don't stink where I'm from.
Feedlot country in Texas, just dump a porta potty into my fucking mouth driving through that area. My God. I've never seen anything more desolate than West Texas in the middle of winter.
Oh,
and
you're
just
right, the cultural mecca of Oklahoma City. Hey, everybody, we got 2 Arby's across from one another.
Dude, sometimes the one is out of the turnovers, and so if you go to the other one, they've got them always.
The turnovers, little Arby's birthday treat for you.
Yeah, man, Jamocha Shake started there. That's not true.
The only thing they're turning over in Oklahoma is rice. That's also my state, so I can't say shit about that.
Can you spread a 5 for 5 across 2 Arby's?
I think you should be able to. I think if you can produce a receipt, you should be able to. It's all going to the same spot, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You gotta. Sometimes they don't have potato triangles.
It's all going in the same big hat.
I think if you got a 24-hour window.
Yeah.
If you've done it in a 24-hour window, so you could do that over a lunch and even a dinner, you know.
I'll take that to the Supreme Court.
I would leave home and I'd get coffee at Starbucks, and then I'd get on the bus and I'd go to a different Starbucks and try to go in and get a refill because they're only 50 cents, and they let it ride for like a month. And then one day I go in and I was like, I just need a refill. And they were like, you need to give us a receipt from here on out. I was like, wow. Jesus, dude, you can't. It's Starbucks, you know?
They gave you a month to get back on your feet.
They did. I needed longer.
Let's go sleep on your friend's couch. We'll give you refills for a month.
Ian Shane, you know it's a long bus ride for me to get home. Let me pose this to you. Can I sleep on your couch yet again tonight? And for probably 4 months.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, dude. That was the best. Anyway.
Ian McShane, dude. Tyler, time for your third pick.
I mean,
Oklahoma is off the board.
I know. I'm gonna save Texas for my fourth pick because I think it'll still be on the board.
No, you can't pick a toilet. You can't pick a toilet.
You sweet boy.
Yes.
What a good guy.
Yeah, take it. Yeah. Well, there's a shit streak right above the toilet of Texas. I'll tell you that.
Well, Dookie Mark. Yeah, boys.
But is there not so much character in those? Lives well lived, hard earned. Let's do the Continental Divide.
Sure.
Not just the view, but also a science experiment and a way to see
Your pee just goes right back in.
if it does in fact go, down either side of the mountain. I've done it. It's an absolute blast. Highly recommend to anybody else. Continental Divide.
Where's the Continental Divide?
Colorado is where I was
Gotcha.
interacting with it.
Because it's like up in the Rockies, right?
I
I think I drove through it, past it today, like this weekend actually.
We left out of a little tiny town called Creed, Colorado, where my grandfather used to he used to work at a ranch there sometime in the summers. He would be like a guide that would take people back up into this kind of it was called, I think, Squaw Lake, that was up at the way top of this one little part of the range, I guess. And we rode horses up there when I was 13 or something. And beat on the Continental Divide. It was terrific.
For everyone who's listening who doesn't know about that, that is the point in the country where every river to the west flows into the west to the Pacific. Every river to the east flows east into either the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico, or into other rivers that do the same. It's the Continental Divide.
Yes.
So fucking
You got
funny.
some well-traveled piss.
Yeah, man.
Your piss is then starting a journey that will take it to the ocean. It's the farthest point your piss can travel.
It's like liquid stars. It's every
Some people they try to hold their offspring down, and I'm like, you know what? Y'all get out there. Y'all go see what the world has to offer. I want them to be able to really spread their wings and fly.
Travel. You have both parts of that journey. You have in the ocean and in the Continental Divide. It's all getting to the same place eventually anyway.
Thank you for pointing that out. I wasn't smart enough to make that connection, and I appreciate that.
It's poetic. It's a poetic twist. Speaking of poetic twist, we go now to a man who thinks the music of Twisted is poetic. Sean Jordan.
I'm saying it wrong. It's Twisted.
Oh, that's
Twisted. Yeah, visionaries, man.
Pull your head out of your ass.
They started doing the Z thing before anybody else. They're these S's kind of look like
That's the
C's.
unit of you don't know who Mushroom Head is.
I know who Mushroom Head is.
And nobody's copyrighted the Z's yet, so we could do that. Since we're going down that road, I was going to save this for later, but into the Grand Canyon. I did that one time.
You did?
Nice.
I did. It was dope. So when I went to the Grand Canyon, I wasn't quite at the age where I should have, I still was like, yeah, whatever, this is cool. Now it would I'd be thinking about greater things and all that. But yeah, I just was like, we should piss into it and probably get out of here. And so me, Big Torque Daddy, Adam, I think Nick, we all took a squeege right into the Grand Canyon. It was dank.
Yeah, how far down did it get? Did you, or was it was it a gradual? Did it only fall a few feet, or were you
Fairly
able to piss
gradual.
in such a way that this shit went on? It made the goofy noise. It was
We were a little more adventurous. I went definitely to a part of it I wouldn't step up to now. So it went out a little ways. It didn't hit the river or anything, but
Could you hear it landing?
I can't remember. I don't know.
You can't remember if you could hear it landing?
I can't remember.
I kind of don't think you did it now.
Whoa!
I sure
Okay.
did. My piss doesn't land, dude. It just flies away. Floats
This
like
is
I'm in a
so hard that
spaceship.
it's everything falls at the same rate. Yes.
It doesn't freeze when it comes out. It just starts turning.
His piss comes out hot.
It goes up to the sky and becomes a bunch of stars.
There's an actual picture of it at my mom, somewhere in my old room. There's a picture that Ort took, I think, of me actually doing it, which is funny.
Do you remember was it busy enough that you were nervous while you were doing it? Was there other people around?
Nobody around.
Okay,
There were
gotcha.
no people. It was crazy to me because I hope we paid to get in, but then you drive for like 15, 20 minutes or something before you're like at the Grand Canyon. And then, yeah, for some reason there was nobody where we were. Yeah, and we just all, I think that was pretty much the goal, was to go do it, because we were on our way to Mexico.
I think you did the exact right thing there. Like the next time I'm at if I'm ever at the Grand Canyon by myself now, going forward, I really am going to try to do the same thing.
Yeah. Why you got to be alone? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
I don't hold hands with someone else.
Life is about shared experiences.
If I'm just with my wife, I'll gladly do it. She'll take off sprinting in the other direction. But you know,
You gotta turn around and be like, hey, Blythe, it is back here.
What you gotta do
Found
is
it.
tuck your penis between your legs, pee backwards, and face her while you're doing it.
Then say, ta-da!
Then you can piss on the western side of the Continental Divide, and the water will still go east.
Sean, I don't know if you've experienced this, but like with now having kids, there are decisions that you make with them in mind that even boil down to like, oh, I don't want them to think you can just like pee in public whenever. So like, I should go try to find a public restroom here. I shouldn't.
Lot of stuff.
I'm not gonna steal another potential pick, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Yes, a lot of stuff I do. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't show her.
You can't make her watch Training Day in the middle of the Saturday afternoon.
It'll mean more if she discovers it on her own.
She's a very good barometer for how upset I do in fact get in the car. Even when I thought I wasn't upset, she'll if I do anything huffy, you know, where I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? And then she'll just be in the back like, why? And I'm just like, sorry.
Into the Grand Canyon. I once peed I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but I peed into Hawaii's Grand Canyon. Waimea
I
Canyon.
didn't know Hawaii had a Grand Canyon.
That's a wing spot in Pasadena, right?
Hawaii's Grand Canyon. No, it's
only pineapple and mango flavors.
But I peed where there was nothing. I found a place where I could pee, where it went. I don't know. Who knows where it went? It just went forever.
It's like when they drop a rock off of something in a spy movie to see how far down the thing goes, and they just never hear it. Just
never hear it.
That's great.
And they're like, well, I don't know why I dropped the rock. I'm going down there anyway. So.
That's true.
And then somebody looks at their watch and they're like, 12 seconds.
We gotta go.
Yes.
All right. Okay, here we go. It's time for my third and my fourth picks.
Maybe there's a second.
I'm taking just far enough away from your tent.
Yeah, dude. Just like 5 paces or something.
Just far enough away from your tent. I think I need a little more than 5 paces.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez,
well, yeah.
Piece of shit.
I need to
5 paces like to the right or left of the door, and yeah.
Yeah, but you're sleeping in the tent.
Yeah, no.
Not
5
paces.
paces. Are you nuts? And stop, why are you calling them paces?
Hey, listen, fuck both of you, all right?
I originally wrote down 30 yards, and I thought, ooh, maybe that's cutting it close.
There is no chance you're getting up. So, okay, not to
30 yards is about as far as somebody from Oklahoma can throw a football.
See the
big ass tricks.
Definitely, it's been Oklahoma that has not had the good quarterbacks lately. Texas has for sure been loaded with good quarterbacks recently.
This pick is a high reward pick. So, like, being done, getting back into your tent is like the best part about being.
If you're doing this, you have to pee.
Yeah.
You have to pee. It's cold, but you also have to get
30
I think you need to get more than 5 paces. You're sleeping in there.
I don't think it needs to be 30 yards.
30 yards? 90 paces?
You think your gate is 3 feet?
Well, this is why I changed it to just far enough away.
Yes.
This is a perfect phrasing.
You need to get and that's a geographical. Things come into question. If there are geographical features, if there's a rise and then like a little ditch and then there's a log, I'll pee on the other side of that log. And if that's 10 yards away, that's okay.
What if you're camping with Shane and then you just go over to Shane's tent? You're like, Shane, it's raining out. It's raining on your tent.
I think the way that works is Shane gets to breakfast in the morning and he says, did it rain in the middle of the night last night?
Yeah, dude.
Then I go, something got on my tent when we're going back. Like,
Yeah, I tried to get in your tent.
I will say this, too, like when you get back from the just far enough away beat, it leads to dialogue, because sometimes I'd be like, all right, where'd you go? And you'd be like, oh, over past the log. Like, the log's out front? No, not the log's out front. The log's closer to the beach. Don't talk to me like I'm an asshole.
You gotta piss downhill, you gotta piss far enough away. Like, there's a strategy to it, but you gotta get just far enough away.
Yeah.
And baby, it is more than 5 paces.
Yeah.
Especially if you drink it the way you drink when you're camping.
5 paces, all you know about a dart's throw away is how fucking...
I'm right outside the tent.
If I've been
when I
drinking alkaline water all night, my pee's gonna come out like crystal clear, fine. But like if I'm camping, I've been drinking, you know what I mean? Like there's been Coors Lights and shit all night.
And I think the
And
camping
salty
thing,
meat, yeah.
and it's like you've also been drinking water all day because you've been outside and you're like, I know I'm going to be drinking tonight, and I was drinking all last night, and I feel dehydrated now, so I should be drinking a lot of this. It's just it's days full of pee.
The day is full of pee. It's gonna smell if you're only 5 paces. That's my contention.
Yeah, well, we have different contentions.
What's your next pick, Sean? The bed?
Myself?
Yeah.
Maybe your joke book.
Again, we can't draft toilets. I'm going to take off a boat.
Yeah, man. I've never done that.
Solid.
You ever pissed off a boat?
That was going to be my last pick. That's great.
It's great. It is a great feeling. You just want, like, usually maybe off the swim, like, ladder area, like on the back of it, if it's got one of those. If it doesn't, you just stand up, face God, and piss.
Or off Ivan's old porch. You know,
My dad used to live on a floating home, a houseboat.
Oh my
You
God,
could just
really?
pee off the back of it. It was
It was a great spot.
Yeah.
It was a great spot.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian, that's a combination of my second and your fourth pick. That's a superhero of a pee situation there.
It's a real. It was.
It's like Blade. All of their strengths, none of his weakness. It's a daywalker league, baby.
But yeah, pissing off a boat, you have to. If
It's the Wimbenyama of
It is. It can do everything.
Only problem is that it's French.
It's when you can't get in the water. You know, you're not in a place where you necessarily want to get in the water, but it's just great. There's also no guilt to it. You're just standing there.
Totally.
You're letting it fly. It just feels great.
I feel if I'm peeing off the back of a boat, I feel royal. I feel there's something very relaxed. It's all the more relaxing for some reason.
That whole body of water becomes your toilet.
Yeah, that's it.
You know?
That's it. You did so well in life. Look how big your toilet is.
It's fucking Lake Superior. It's it's the Aegean Sea. That's my toilet.
The Aegean Sea.
Welcome to the Gulf of Mexico, AKA.
Paris and Hector and Ian on their way back from Troy, pissing in the Aegean.
I recently pissed in the Mediterranean Sea. You know what I mean? I'm peeing all over the place, man.
Yeah, kind of like Wall Lake for me when I go back home. I get it about the same thing.
What the hell is Wall Lake?
A lake, dude.
Where the hell is?
It's a dirty pond.
That was my take on what the hell is Wall Road.
Whatever, dude.
Missed it, but that was good. Thank
No, it
you.
wasn't. It was dumb.
I've been dropping bon mots all over this episode. Wait till you listen back. They're in there. Sean Jordan, time for your fourth pick, bro.
On the car handle of an enemy.
Whoa!
Yeah, dark.
Have you done it?
I have. I'm not trying not to lie. I'm not going to say whose, but I've done that a few times. And I've also done it to a stranger's Hummer door handle once. For no reason.
This the day you started to take up recycling and you're like, fuck this person.
My buddy yelled at me when I did it, and he's one of the gnarliest dudes I know, and he yelled at me, and he goes, "We don't do that." And I go, "Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry." I felt bad immediately.
Also, that guy has a gun. For sure.
I wasn't in the car.
And he's begging to use it. Yeah, but he could have been walking out of that, Giant Eagle or whatever. Where do people shop where you live?
We were outside, we were in the mall parking lot. It was shenanigans on a Thursday night. Yeah, so I did it, and he got so mad at me, and I go, "You're right." Because it is a thing. It's so cowardly to mess with people's cars, especially when they're not around. It's just like, it's
You're
weak.
not about that life.
No, but
You're not the remake of Point Break.
No, and I don't. Gosh, the Ozaki 8, bro. Don't even get me and Shane started. We watched that at the Fortress one night. Anyway, yeah, it's.
I put it on again just to have something on, and it is real bad.
It's garbage, especially when the first one is perfect. Anyway, yeah, it's been rare. I've done it a lot, and I have not done it in at least 15 years. But yeah, I've done it, and it's pretty funny.
Isn't it a car door of an enemy?
Also, you're not gonna get hurt, you know?
I don't hate it. I like it.
It's gonna cross my mind now. If I'm in a parking lot and I've had some sort of issue with, especially if it's a car like that, it is gonna cross my mind now.
I've done it to friends' door handles more than I've done it to enemies, I will say that. Because it's hilarious when it's your friend. And I've told him about it like the next day too. Be like, you get in your car at all yesterday? And they say yes, of course. And I was like, yeah, I pissed on the door handle.
Guess what, dude? No treat for me.
Yeah, we both partied last night.
You take a shit last night? No? I put saran wrap over the toilet.
That's a gnarly one. Full of poop on the door handle. That's if you really want to go nuts.
Oh, yeah. That starts to get into actual crimes.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, just a little pee on the door handle.
Pee on the door handle. And we're gonna get to Tyler's next picks right after another very short break.
This episode of All Fantasy Everything is brought to you by Hatch. Now, you wake up yawning? You do, of course you do. You roll yourself out of bed, you got groggy eyes after a long night, in and out of your child's room. That's just what having a kid is. You're trying to coax them back to sleep. With Hatch Rest, your child will sleep better so that you can too. I can vouch for this personally. It is something that we have used every single night since we hooked it up, since Max was born, since our daughter was born. We use this constantly. It helps her sleep. It helps me sleep. It is the perfect sleep time pal. It will do everything for you. The Hatch Rest is extremely innovative. It's an all-in-one sort of sleep situation. It's designed for kids to help them out. You know, it's both a sound machine and a nightlight, and it's going to grow with your children. It's got so many different sounds. During the newborn stage, Hatch helps make for a soothing and comfortable sleep environment with continuous sounds like white noise, wind, rain, lullabies. It's got all of it. You can switch the colors. All of the sounds are fantastic. It has a rainbow color setting that you can use, and as your child grows, Hatch allows toddlers and big kids to build sleep independence with customized color and sound cues. It's got the time for bed alerts, what alerts them that it's time to wind down for the night, all those things. In the morning, their special time to rise signal helps teach them when it's okay to get out of bed for the day, keeping those early risers in bed longer. Seriously, it is tremendously helpful, and it's good for adults. I bring mine on the road. I bring it in hotel rooms. I will swear by this product. Seriously, it is fantastic. The Rest has helped over 3 million babies and parents get restful sleep. It's no wonder that it seriously is consistently a top baby registry item. I know it's at the top of our list. Right now, Hatch is offering our listeners up to 15% off your purchase of a Hatch Rest and free shipping at hatch.co/allfantasy. So, if you're ready for improved sleep for your kids and yourself, go to hatch.co/allfantasy to get up to 15% off and free shipping. Again, that's hatch.co/allfantasy.
Stop by your local grocery outlet to participate in our annual Independence from Hunger Drive. This is a great way to support your local food organizations. So take part in our Give 5, Get 5 program. Donate $5 and get a $5 coupon for a future visit. Donations made in-store stay in your local community. Join us in our fight against hunger by visiting your local grocery outlet today. Going on now through the end of July.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
And we're back. Welcome back to All Fantasy Everything already in progress. Sean Jordan just drafted peeing on the door handle on the car of an enemy. It's time for Tyler Barker's birthday.
I'm gonna go with what I feel is a classic and an old standby, and that's behind a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily a last resort, but it's always gonna be there for you if you need it. The tree, even if it's a busy park, it does provide some coverage, and I think that it's a pee that we're always going to have in our lives.
Peeing behind a tree says to the world, Look, I'm not some sicko, okay?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
There's an amount of indignance attached to it that you can be like, oh, you've never been where I am now?
I did that. I'm doing the best I can given the circumstances, okay?
You don't think I would rather be in a bathroom. Find me
I
one.
wasn't gonna make it. You know I wasn't gonna make it.
If I had tried, I would have broken. I would have had to stop in the open and space and just handled it there. And you and your kids don't want that.
Maybe you wouldn't have seen me peeing if you weren't up there in that ivory tower.
Yeah, fucking, I gotta drag everybody across the finish line for this piss?
Your nose is bleeding on me.
Listen, I just came over to tell you that you forgot your phone on the picnic table. No judgment. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, my bad. Just hold it for a sec. I gotta just let me. I don't want to grab it. I don't want to grab it yet.
Did Jovan text? I have read receipts, so don't open the phone. But like, did I get a text from Jovan?
Well, I'm sending this natural ice back to whence it came. Give me about 35 seconds here.
Well, if the text just came in, then wait a few seconds, and let the screen go black, and then open it up again, and then you'll be able to see more of it than you would.
Ah, it's on my shoes.
It's a nice park, man. I've never been here. It's good. Could use an unlocked bathroom, but you know, COVID. What do you do?
When I first bought my house, I would walk into the back. I am cool. I'm cool. I'm a homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I'm responsible.
You know what I've noticed about Ian's house? That I love? That Dana's never doing yard work at it. Like, I've never seen that.
You'll never see that. I also bag myself an Ivy Leaguer, and she looks down her nose at yard work.
Yes. Well, I mean, my Ivy Leaguer, anytime I go onto our back porch at night to pee, she always says, "Really? The bathroom's closer? You're taking longer to it's not even more convenient. You're just doing it because you like it." And I say, that's exactly right. That
Good
is
for
exactly.
You. Also, it's better for the environment than you flushing.
Exactly. These cactuses need me.
Saying the bathroom's closer is like saying we have food in the fridge at home when you're trying to go out to a nice restaurant. You're going for an experience.
Absolutely. Part of it is
me.
That's great.
We got stuff to eat at home, and I'm like, I'm aware of that. I didn't think when I said let's go to Burger King, I didn't think that we were in a
yeah, but
dry.
We're talking about going to a restaurant. You're talking about going to Arby's when you have that same Arby's sauce in your fridge.
They sell it at the store. What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to not buy it? What am I supposed to do?
What you want to do now?
Jesus.
What you want to do now?
Bro. Chick-fil-A's got their condiments there. Buffalo Wild Wings has their condiments there. Fire on the Mountain got their condiments there.
Those places are all selling their condiments in the grocery stores now?
Yes, they're all at Fred Meyer, and I have all of them in the fridge. Why wouldn't I?
That's totally surprising. You got all of them in the fridge. If this was 5 years ago, you'd have all of them in the fridge and one onion.
It's so funny telling a doctor what I actually eat. I bought a package of 6 teriyaki pepperoni sticks yesterday. They were gone by early afternoon. I bought them in the morning at a farmer's market. They were gone almost immediately.
Ooh, that farmer's market one, though.
They are so good.
That's a good fucking pepperoni stick.
Preserved meats can be very great.
Like a high-quality one?
Yeah, like a great jerky.
I'm standing on a podium trying to watch my sodium these days, so I don't do it quite as much, but, like, I do fucking love them.
Stand on a podium trying to watch my sodium. Look at him. Get a load of him. He's somebody.
One of the smoothest implementations of a line to a song that I've heard. That was like when you don't realize you're in an ad read. When someone is like, you know, and that's so true. I love going and getting wings with the guys, and then they just go and you're just like, wait, why do I feel comfortable here when I'm getting sold something?
And what better place to go get wings than Fire on the Mountain, Portland, Oregon? That's not even an ad read. That's just a shout out.
There's a lot of great memories in that place.
Woo.
That's an unbelievable name, also, for a restaurant.
It's a Grateful Dead themed chicken wing restaurant that is in Portland, Oregon, and there's one location in Denver, and it's the best wing I've ever had in my life.
True, they do kill it.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
You know it's good because their spicy stuff still tastes good, even though it's too hot. Like, the flavor's still good. So you keep eating.
Fried pickles, too.
The frickles.
The frickles.
Eating frickles like I'm over here like Don Rickles.
Eating frickles like Rickles, dude. Stepping off the porch for a trickle. Yeah. Shane Torres, time for your fourth and then your final picks.
Come at me, I'll take your head off with a sickle.
Ooh, I'll do it for a nickel, and I'll do it real quickle.
I like that whiskey Dickel.
You like
Oh
it?
yeah.
Not really.
Then I'll give your little butthole a tickle.
Doesn't one of you have cell sickle or something?
I don't know. Just play around back there, give it a little whiffle.
Okay, slam rhymes now. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, little B rhymes. Little B rhymes.
Okay. The list is getting like the fat's been trimmed off the brisket, right?
This is where Grave would have been a good pick.
Where are you peeing, bro?
I'm gonna say on the logo of a rival sports franchise.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. Don't let me catch you wearing an Eagles jacket.
Are they still
This is on
wearing it?
someone's back?
Yeah.
You go, get on your knees. I'm gonna pee on the back of that jacket.
Where is this? So this is just kind of an esoteric pick. So where, like, bring us to the real world. Where's this
You know,
happening?
like sometimes there'll be a sticker of a franchise on
Sure.
you know, like that
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
The side of like the wall of a high school sometimes. If
Yeah,
when
that
you were
kind of
back in
stuff.
high school. Yeah. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
yeah.
Who do you identify? Who are the chief rivals of yours? So you're a Cowboys fan.
Yes.
Who are these rivals? How are ranked these logos?
For my parents' generation, it was Washington.
Yeah.
For my dad's generation, but like for me, it's the Eagles. I fucking hate them.
All my Cowboys fans, friends, it's the Eagles, hands down. I mean, they hated the Giants because of Eli Manning almost.
But it's
felt like.
generational too. And the thing is, like, because
Yeah.
I mean, when they used to be called the other thing, that was like the team that everybody in Texas hated. And now they've been bad for so long, it doesn't matter. You know, like, but like the Eagles, yeah, for sure, because their fans. I mean, Philadelphia is essentially Australia. It's a penal colony. It is fucking. I love it. It's a great city, but man, fucking urban white trash through the butthole.
Oh my God. Love Philadelphia.
But don't tell, I'm not wrong. They know it.
Buckest show we've ever done, man.
That's
Yeah.
true. Send it citywide.
You got a
Oh my
hotel room
God.
for 2 hours for us. That was insane.
Yeah, well, we needed it, bud. I'll tell you that.
I woke up and my eyes just felt salty.
Dude, I was
I was
cooked.
so
I had flight from Philly to Omaha on Frontier at 6 a.m. and then drove from Omaha to Sioux Falls. It was so lame.
Shane Torres, it is time for your final pick, a lightning round.
Oh, I am going to say this for a very specific reason.
Say it, bro.
The sink.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
High quality pick there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sink is like, I did it. You know, like if somebody's taking up the John, I'm
Yeah.
going in the sink. Yeah, like that's one. But did you guys see Comedy Punks? It's the Kids in the Hall documentary.
No.
There's a part where they talk about when they filmed their pilot. They're doing two shoots, and on the set, the first one went really bad, and on the second one, Scott and Dave peed in a sink for luck. And then I did that the night of my special.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, peeing in a sink.
Yeah. Clutch. I remember Tony and I telling Heather, because we lived in an apartment.
Those are the things Oklahomans don't use to wash their hands. Sinks.
Oh.
They're
Okay.
disgusting people.
For sure.
That's
my pick, and I
Peeing in
stand
the
by it.
sink. Peeing in the
Yeah.
sink.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yeah.
time for your final pick.
I'm gonna go with beside a campfire. Is that allowed? Is it? 'Cause I know you said far enough away from the campsite.
These are different. So mine is like a tent pee. This is a middle of the night tent pee.
Yep.
Mine is sort of like an extension of the off the back porch pee, where you're in comfortable company and or by yourself, and you just don't have to walk far away to pee, and the flames are very nice, and so you get the warmth and relief feeling without having to pee your pants.
So you basically stand up and turn around.
Pretty much, depending on, not stand up and turn around, but like you don't have to walk too far off. It's really there's not like the campfire's the only light, so you're not getting even really seen too much. And if you turn your back and it's all dudes, who cares?
There's a dramatic shadow of you pissing being cast from the campfire still. You're still within shadow range.
I like to think there's something intimidating about it too. You know, I like to think that people are like, okay, I see. He's not gonna stray too far. Okay.
It makes you feel like you're hunting predator. Like we need to stay together. I can't wander too far
It's
off.
a good way to deter wolves too, I think. So they won't really surround you if you pee at different points along the perimeter.
Well, you're speaking their language at that point.
If you're an alpha, yes.
Yeah, well, you're from Texas, so you wouldn't know about that. But
There it is.
Did you think that's what I wasn't implying? Subtext writer.
I only deal with just the words. I don't. Whatever's underneath them, that stuff's too complicated for me.
That's why I have a tattoo of Nolan Ryan on my back beating up Robin Ventura.
When he was so old, my God, Nolan Ryan's dope. Watch that documentary, Facing Nolan. I think
fun.
it's Facing
It's
Nolan.
fun, yeah.
Throwing heat as a geriatric.
Dude,
Yeah.
crazy.
I bet he could still, like, get it going 80.
Nolan Ryan's one of those, like, Clint Eastwood level guys for, like, I feel like probably especially for older dudes, like old white dudes who are like, oh man, you know who's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's like one of those.
Nobody
guys.
asked me.
He is of like a Clint. He's not as old as those guys, but he is of like a Clint Eastwood era of like, this is what a man looks like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Nolan Ryan.
Men wear Wranglers.
He will be that old.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Hank Hill of baseball, dude.
He ain't dying. He'll be 160 years old, Nolan Ryan.
Oh God, yeah. He'll be throwing that fast too.
Yeah, he will. Sean Jordan, time for your final pick.
Sneaky little Midwestern house party trick. Pretty rude, but a sump pump.
I don't know what that is.
It's it'll be in the laundry room of the basement of a house, and it's to drain, like if there's water in the basement, or if the laundry room floods or whatever.
Right.
So it's just a hole. It's a hole in the laundry room ground. And so when you're at house parties back in the day, and you just don't want to fuss with much, and you're a little tossed, you're like, I'm just gonna go in the sump pump and call it a game. Right back into the room in the basement where the bar is, or the foosball table, or the dartboard, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rude, it's uncouth, but it's happened, and it's a sneaky little trick, and it just goes away,
That'll get you there.
and it's not your house.
It gets you off the sidelines and back into the game fast. I think it's a smart move.
In and out like a
Yeah.
robbery, man.
Also, it's called a sump pump. I'm not supposed to pee there?
Yeah,
Are you sure about that?
Like a little
Are you
that's
sure
a
I'm not
great-
supposed to pee in it? It's
that's
called
a great
sump
point.
pump. Yeah. All right. Time for my final pick, the final pick of the draft. I'll do it. I'll be the one to do it.
Well,
I'll
sure,
fucking
go for
take it. I'll take the thing that we've all done.
Let it ride.
I'm going to take it in the pool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right?
Yes.
I wanted to bring this up. So I went to, you were with me, and it was the one Andy Wood pool party that I ever went to.
Yeah.
He's a comic in LA for the listeners. A great dude. But he had a pool, he'd had these big parties, and so we got there, and the pool was blue. And by the time we left, I did not notice it, but we were there for 8 hours or whatever. You get out, and the water looked like
Less
salty.
blue. Less blue.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, man, these scumbags, myself included, have all been peeing in this all day long. You could tell. That was the only time I've ever been like, whoa.
It feels great. You got to swim around a little bit to kick your leg so it can't be
Yeah.
traced back to you. It's not a lot of getting rid of the evidence, but it's just enough, you know?
You got to spread it, because that water's losing its temperature fast. Once it's out of the pans, it's almost, it's
That's a
mixing with the
good
rest.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been cranking pina coladas all day. I'm in the Ace Hotel in fucking Palm Springs.
I ate a
deep
rib.
end?
I ate a rib submerged in water while I was submerged in water for the most part. Yeah. You think I'm gonna get out and use a toilet?
We're all pissing in that pool.
We're
Yeah.
standing there in Las Vegas with our whale bones. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere, bro.
Yeah, I'm living like a Kennedy on a bender right now.
You
I'm
don't
not
have to
fucking
get out
trying
in
to.
Vegas. You don't have to get out of the water for 8 hours.
No, you don't.
You
Unless
can
you have to
handle all
poop.
your business from that pool.
You have to get out of the water when you have to poop or want to lose money.
No, you don't have to get out of the water if you want to lose money.
That's a situation where if you don't do it, someone else will. If you're not going to pee in the pool in Las Vegas, the person that will take your place in the pool is going to be peeing in the pool for you,
Yep.
and then you're just going to get back into their pee.
Yeah, your vote doesn't count, so go for it.
That's exactly right. Peeing in the pool.
Love it.
Isaac Lee, do you have a pick for places to pee that aren't a toilet?
Yeah, I recently did this at one of my friend's house up in the hills in Los Angeles here, and like off of a hill,
yeah.
off of a mountain.
Yeah.
Greatest feeling in the world. You're like looking at nature, you're looking at the sunset. It's amazing.
A lot of nature bees. Yeah.
You're conscious of everything that man is capable of in those moments.
Exactly.
All the good things, all the promise.
Exactly.
Yeah. That pee is manifest destiny, the golden west.
In the Hollywood Hills too. That's always a trip. Just being there when you get to go into a place.
God.
Looking over at Ron Howard's house.
Home of the Entourage theme.
Home of the Entourage.
Excellent pick, Isaac. To recap, Shane Torres, you went first. And you took Graves right outside of the bar. The great state of Oklahoma, the logo of a rival sports franchise.
You don't put great in front of that.
The Sing, Tyler Parker, author of A Little Blood and Dancing, available everywhere books are sold right now. May I recommend going to pals.com and ordering through there?
Yeah, do
I
that.
didn't say that.
I'm going to pick it up at the Strand tomorrow.
There you go.
Thanks,
Really
Marty.
anywhere. You took In the Ocean, Off a Back Porch at Night, The Continental Divide, Behind a Tree, and Beside a Campfire. Excellent picks. Sean Jordan, you took The Snow, The Shower, Into the Grand Canyon, On the Door of an Enemy, and Into a Sump Pump. I went last. I took Side of the Freeway, On a Business that just said you couldn't use their bathroom, Just Far Enough Away from Your Tent, More Than 5 Paces, Off a Boat, and Into the Pool that you are currently standing in. Not into the pool, just the pool.
Right. Yeah.
All around
Into the
you.
Pool is a wild one.
That's a wild boy. That's a wild
Disrespectful.
That's a wild boy, Dick. But we would
That's I think that they do that to a Mexican gangster in Breaking Bad.
Yes, they do.
Right next to him, after they kill Gus's homie,
Yes, that's
what's his name? The old
right.
guy. He's in the pool next to him.
Shit, that's right.
We want to hear your picks. Hit us up at AllFantasyPod on Twitter, allfantasypodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to the AFE Patreon, the AFE Shaslaki, the AFE subreddit. Shout out to super producer Isaac Lee on the ones and twos.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Shout out to Saint, Sue Carmel. Shout out to Frankie Ocean. Shout out to Sid the Dude. Shout out to Haji Beats. And more important than all of that, tune in again next week to another brand new episode of All Fantasy Everything.
Shaklaka-T.
That was a HeadGum podcast.
Stop by your local grocery outlet to participate in our annual Independence from Hunger Drive. This is a great way to support your local food organizations. So take part in our Give 5, Get 5 program. Donate $5 and get a $5 coupon for a future visit. Donations made in-store stay in your local community. Join us in our fight against hunger by visiting your local grocery outlet today. Going on now through the end of July.
Grocery outlet, bargain market.
I'm once again really torn.
5 picks remaining. There's an entire franchise we don't have on here yet.
I think you know what to do, Mel.
There's a vetoed movie that is not returned to the list.
I mean, here's the thing. One of 3 people is going to be mad, and I have such genuine love in my heart for Joanna and Brian that I'm like, should I be the one who's mad? Should I pick the thing that devastates me?
No,
But
play what you
I'm not gonna do it. I can't.
feel what you're doing.
No one's gonna be mad.
Oh.
Brian might be.
Here we go. At number 5, with her second to last pick on the list, Mallory has taken it upon herself to bring back the other vetoed title from earlier on the list. At number 5, Mallory has selected Working Girl. Mallory, Working Girl, moving, you played it at 8, here it lands at 5.
So.
Yeah.
Honestly, that
I'll start
that's
crying.
the
I'll
thing
start
about
crying.
really.
I'll start
That's the
crying.
thing about this movie that I can't. By the 19th time they play that song, I'm
No.
like,
You're like,
it's
yes!
falling.
And you're crying.
No, every second of that song is
Fucking hate
awesome.
that song.
So good. Oh my god.
Awesome.
It's almost
Every
as appalling as your
Jerusalem.
Apple opinion.
Every time I'm on a ferry That song plays.
That movie. Okay. Well, wait. Sorry, Matt. It's your turn.
No. So I was considering doing something else here, a movie that I have higher, and I think I'd say I'm like most invested in talking about today. So I just like want to make sure. I was starting to panic. I think it'll be fine. I want it to be higher, so I resisted the urge. Obviously, I had initially played Working Girl lower. This is the lowest remaining of my seated picks here. I think this is a good spot for it. I'm curious to hear how high you had it, Brian. But
I had it here. I had it at 5.
Oh, great.
I also had a 5.
Oh, look at this. Everyone's happy.
Totally
including
fine.
hopefully me around pick 3 of the draft. There's a lot to talk about. This is, I would say, just one of the most purely pleasurable movies to watch. It is expertly crafted. It is expertly performed. It is a boundless, ceaseless joy, no matter how many times you see it. This was to get back to those kind of Harrison Ford origin story of my mom showing me movies. This was one of the first Harrison Ford movies I ever saw, and I don't think I've really ever stopped watching it since. The list of contenders for the Harrison Ford Shirtless Hall of Fame.
This is my number 1 for the shirtless scene.
Ample, but yeah, the changing the shirt in the office, quick splash from the water pitcher into the underarms, picking the fresh shirt, turning around, and quickly acknowledging the throngs of adoring coworkers who were watching him change through the plated glass. I texted one of the numerous screenshots from this scene that I have on my phone to Joanna earlier, and I said, I think we should Photoshop ourselves into the background there. So I'm like,
okay, here it is. Have a
Here it is. Soak it up.
Fantastic.
Enjoy. You're welcome.
Absolutely wonderful. So Jack Traynor, Harrison Ford's character in this film, enters the film pretty late. It's a minute before we meet him at the party, and when we do, our very first impression of him, other than, my God, what a beautiful person, is, all right, here's another like mergers and acquisitions finance bro who is perfectly content to lie to a woman in their first conversation about who he is because he wants to fuck her. It's like not actually the most winning introduction, but by the end you're completely smitten, right? In part because he is there to make the right moral stand, to side with Tess over Catherine, to try to broaden his view of like what is worth having in life, but also because we have gotten to enjoy all of the vintage quintessential Harrison Ford hallmarks along the way. This is a rom-com, and he is enjoying every second of being in a rom-com in a way that makes rom-coms at their best like a truly high elevated art form that people cherish. The wedding, the Trask or the Wedding Crashers scene, the way that he just dips in for that dance, the sequence in the bathroom, the debrief after, the word of the straw, the guzzling of the cocktail, the debrief after, like the mocking, but also like it's mocking reverence, right? Or Trask, the man who said, "What if we sliced the bread before we sold it?" He's making fun of Tess because they have that kind of shorthand and chemistry with each other, but he's also like, you did it, you fucking did it, you made the bold choice that other people, including all of the men around you, who you're jostling with every day for a seat at the table, would never have thought to try, in part because they wouldn't have had to. And he gives her a lunchbox at the end. It's just absolutely perfect movie.
And I start
weeping. The earth moved, the angels wept.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Mallory's pick at number 5, Working Girl. Joanna, do you agree with Mallory's assessment that this is a perfect movie?
Yeah, yes. I've never tired watching this movie. I love this movie so much. And I have a weird affection for its odd counterpart, which is Morning Glory, which is not a great movie, but I still really enjoy it.
He's wonderful in that.
Yeah, makes the frittata.
He's great.
This came at such an important point in his career because he had done like the big, he had done Han Solo, he had done Indiana Jones, and then he got to do his weird ones for him, right? He had done frantic, Mosquito Coast, another one we might talk about, you know, blah, blah. And his agent's like, for the love of fucking God, will you do a rom-com? And he's like, no. She's like, please, for the love of fucking God, do this. The script is so good. He's like, no, it's the girls' movie. I don't want to do it. He said that. It's the girls' movie. And then she's like, they've cast Alec Baldwin. And he's like, I'll do it. And so Baldwin gets
Baldwin in the
so Baldwin gets bumped down. Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. Imagine that movie with Baldwin in that role. It's not as good.
I can only imagine him as Mick from one of the bands.
It's not what it looks like. Baldwin's
fantastic in the role.
Perfect. Well, it is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Perfect greaseball. So anyway, so Harrison Ford does the picture, and it is the girls' movie, and that's what I love about this. That he is just like generously supporting this incredible Melanie Griffith performance. We already talked about another iconic Harrison Ford Matt Nichols movie regarding Henry, but I'm glad that they're both here on the list, and that this is another instance where Ford again inject a lot of, like, he does this thing where he'll inject a lot of himself into the role. He talks about how, like, if you don't have a grasp of the character, just play yourself, and that's fine. And I'm like, I would argue that doesn't work for most people, Harrison, but I'm glad it works for you. But he inserts stuff, very personal stuff, like the scar on his face. Like, that was his idea to, like, work into the script as this very, like, tender moment of connection between these two characters, where he tells her, like, the true story of how he got the scar, etc. So yeah, he's funny, he's charming, he's sexy. He's, like, very gently trying to let the horrible Sigourney Weaver down. And I just, but it was also Harrison Ford's idea that Jack, like, risk his career to support Tess. Like, that whole ending where he's just being, like, even more supportive, like, making it even more the girls' movie is just, like, so incredible. And then I know we're here talking about Harrison Ford, but John fucking Cusack in this movie, just
incredible.
Icon.
Historic hair in the history.
And eyeshadow, just great. Coffee, tea, me, like, just
yeah.
No notes.
I felt that. Yeah.
I love this movie.
No notes. Brian, just like Joanna, you had this at number 5 on your list.
Yeah. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. Look, I grew up in the 80s dreaming of moving to New York, which I did for a while there and found myself here. But I still get choked up from the opening. I still get choked up from the Carly Simon song and the shot going over the Staten Island Ferry and, you know, rest their souls, the World Trade, the Two Towers. It really hits me in a big way growing up at that time. You know, that was conquering New York was my dream. So watching it is that beginning of that movie. It kills me every time. And yeah, Ford. Look, next week we'll be recording the Screwball Comedy Draft that I'm doing with Maureen and Oriana. And so I've been watching a lot of Cary Grant, and this is Harrison Ford's Cary Grant movie.
Yeah.
This is him giving a 1930s screwball comedy leading man virtuoso performance, channeling that. I wish he'd had more opportunities to play these notes. I agree. Morning Glory is not a great movie, but it's a good one, and he's very good in it. But I wish he'd had a few more opportunities to do this. But then again, maybe it's just fine that it was just this, and it was so perfect, and we have it. He's so magnetic in it. The chemistry with Melanie Griffith is off the charts. It's such a sexy movie, you know. I mean, movies. Maybe that's
She's
the
got a
difference with
bod
movies.
for sin.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like movies are so afraid now. There's sort of this chasteness to them that, for whatever reason, and this is a really, you know, it's a sexy movie. It's a movie for adults. It's an R-rated, you know, adult comedy, and you know, they have a real palpable chemistry. And it's another one of those situations where this movie got Oscar nominations for literally everyone involved except him, because he makes it look so effortless.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm happy it got this high, because I think it's a very different note that he plays in this. Certainly different from the four that we're going to discuss here in a second, and so I'm really pleased that it got this far.
All right, there you go. The pick at number 5, Working Girl. Brian, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Every movie should start with a series of glamour shots of the city that it's set in.
Hell yeah!
Scored with a great pop song. At some point we stopped doing that, and the movies are
perfect
for it.
Well, they're all shot
Charlie
in Vancouver, you know.
Simon song.
They're all shot like in Atlanta, doubling for New York.
All right, Ryan, Working Girl. I mean, it's not the only comedy Harrison Ford ever appeared in, but certainly the most successful in a lot of ways. How do we feel about this here at number 5?
Has to be here. You know, you gotta have Working Girl on there. I think it's it's a great film in so many ways, but ultimately I hate to say it, there's that secret ingredient of it being Mike Nichols. It's the perfect Mike Nichols vehicle, who understands casting, who understands the details, who understands sort of the tenor of the times. That this movie kind of is not just a comedy. It's got a lot more to it. And everybody's on board, and everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody understands the assignment. And Working Girl stands unique amongst so many movies. It was very interesting what you said about the Alec Baldwin aspect of this, knowing that they had their weird, like, semi-public feud about the Jack Ryan thing later down the road.
Right.
But again, when you compare those two, it's so interesting to see what's missing and what Harrison has that Alec does not, that would ultimately put him, to the forefront in everybody's mind with all of these movies, because Harrison just has a charm that Alec does not. As good as Alec is at what Alec does, Harrison has, he just has that charisma that you want to watch no matter what character he's playing, no matter how amoral they may be. And in this one, he's just so good. Like, to have him as your romantic lead, for fuck's sake. Like, why haven't we done that yet? In his career.
This is,
we do it more.
Yeah. Sabrina Erasure, I just need to say. But,
on my list, Joanna. It's on my list.
That's interesting.
But I think Alec Baldwin, with I think maybe just the exception of Beetlejuice, is like, or Prelude to a Kiss, very rarely plays a character that I trust, right? I just don't trust Alec Baldwin. Sure. And I think because of the things that Mal mentioned about who Jack Trainer is, how we meet him, I just think I would have such a hard time coming back around to Alec Baldwin after that, whereas Harrison Ford can fucking pull it off, but I'm sorry that I just
that's
you know what I mean?
That's a
I do say, I feel like that anecdote kind of puts Alec, I mean, I'm really kind of impressed with Alec Baldwin gets cast as the male lead in this movie, gets bumped, and then still's like, all right, I'll still be in the movie, and I'll play like a weirdo Outer Boroughs guy.
Well, it's Mike Nichols, He probably was like, well, it's Mike Nichols, and
gets some great lines,
He's
great.
great.
Test, but the pizza's getting cold.
But that's a great observation about the trust of it all. That's absolutely right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. He's you're not on his side if it's Baldwin picking her up in that scene. Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, there you go. Working Girl there at number 5. We've got 4 picks remaining. The pick at number 4 is Drafter A, Brian Cogman. That is you. This is your second to last pick on this list. The last one you're going to make before you put the number 1 pick at the very tippy top of this list. All right. Here
It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine.
I'm terrified.
No, everything's fine.
No, I'm gonna hurt my friend Joanna again.
No, you're not. No. Okay. 4 is fine.
Okay.
Four is not.
Then we're golden from here.
4 is fine.
Order for 1 and 2.
Here we go. All right. At number 4, there you go. Brian, sticking with the trend, bringing back a deposed pick. At number 4, Brian has selected Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. All right, that got vetoed by Joanna. Out of hand. So actually, we haven't heard from anybody on this movie yet. Brian.
Yes.
Your favorite Indiana Jones movie, something you're very vocal about.
Top 10 movie of all time.
Top 10
for me.
movie of all time.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
But here's why I'm playing it lower. I think it's interesting. I went and the New Bev a couple months ago reran the 4 films.
Yeah.
And I took my kids. I was able to go take them to Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, and it was interesting watching the movies again in the venue in which they are meant to be watched. Having watched Last Crusade thousands and thousands of times at home, what hit me in this last rewatch of Last Crusade, and this doesn't diminish the movie or my love of it at all, but it is, more than the other Indiana Jones movies, at least the original trilogy, an ensemble movie. It is. It's an ensemble movie. The first 15 minutes belong to River Phoenix. The rest of the thing, it is a real ensemble film with him and Connery and Denham Elliott, and again, not a criticism. But when I sort of made my little rule to myself about, okay, I'm only going to try to go with one franchise here, it had to be, I think, ultimately one that we're maybe going to discuss later in terms of the Harrison Ford creation of an icon of it all. To me, the other one is undeniable. I love this movie. I love his performance in it. What's great about this film is that it deepens the character, it enriches the character. The very thing that makes many fanboys dislike the movie is the thing I love about it, which is that we do learn more about him and what makes him tick. We do see him vulnerable. We see him in a sort of dynamic with his father where he is unsure and slightly befuddled and slightly, off his game. All of these things are recommended, which is why I'm delighted it's here. I'm delighted it made the list. I'm delighted it's this high because I adore the film. But it seems to me, in terms of the pantheon, the top tier Harrison Ford movies, as much as I love this one, I feel it's appropriate here. I can go on and on about all the other attributes of the film, but I've spent time on other podcasts talking about it, so we'll leave that. But I will say, I think I came very close to playing Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Very close. Because I saw...
Wow!
Yeah, because I saw...
Friendship over. Oh my God!
Because seeing that in the theater a few months ago was a religious experience. In terms of film craft, action filmmaking for a big screen, it blew my fucking mind. I'd never seen it in a big screen before. And what he's doing in it is a very different variant on Indiana Jones. It's more in the kind of James Bond vein.
Yeah.
That is it's an exceptional performance in its own.
He's very special in that movie.
He's phenomenal in the movie, and he's it's different notes from Last Crusade. It's different notes from Raiders. Didn't do that because, again, this is one of my top 10 movies of all time. I adore it. I know every word of it by heart. So I'm happy it's here. But I don't think, for a Harrison Ford best of list, it's the Indiana Jones movie that should be in the highest spot.
All right, there you go. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the pick at number 4. Yeah, for many years, this was my favorite Indiana Jones. Maybe a working girl aside, this is probably his best comedic performance. It's a very funny movie.
It's very
This is probably his best comedic performance. His chemistry with Connery is spectacular. It really, God, what if... It really... I love Red October. I love Baldwin and Red October. The re-teaming him with Connery for Hunt for Red October would have been something.
Oh, sure.
quite special. But the way that he modulates his performance, shifting into that old power dynamic of being the little kid, the son, to Connery, who's kind of doddering and an academic with the beard and the little tweed hat and all this stuff, and Indiana Jones going into the kind of Dad, energy is really, really funny, and a really not often seen pitch coming from Harrison Ford, really, 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 obviously, absolutely delightful movie. Who is up first? Are there any vetoes out there? Just for Brian. So Mallory, Indiana Jones. No, I'll go to Joanna because she vetoed it. Joanna. Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Brian tried to play it back at all the way back at an embarrassing number 7, and you just an absolutely unforgivable banishment of the film to the number 7 spot, and you swooped it and saved it with that
Who
veto.
hates dads now?
I know. You know, everyone thinks I'm so predictable on this show, but you know.
You got it all the way up to
I don't
4,
think
Joanne.
Yeah, 4 is fine, and like the other 3 that we're going to talk about are all-timers. And I do agree that like if we're only picking one Indiana Jones movie, it makes the choice much harder of like which to talk about. And the eternal Raiders Last Crusade debate of it's slightly generational.
Oh, very much so.
Like micro-generational almost.
Yes.
And I understand why Raiders is held up as high as it is, but for me, the difference between Raiders and Last Crusade is as similar as the dynamic we were talking about between Star Wars and Empire, which is a deepening of an iconic introduction of a character, a deepening and fleshing out of a character into a performance that is giving us so, because this is not a knock on Raiders. Like, I'm not here to knock Raiders at all, of course. What a perfect movie. But Last Crusade, and you guys have talked about sentimental things for me, Clear and Present Danger for Brian, Blade Runner's Adam's favorite movie for Mallory, and she's also going to talk about something else in a little bit. But, like, Last Crusade is the sentimental one for me on here. I saw it in the theater with my dad. It's a very, very important film to me, number 4 on a list, a respectable place for it to be, so I'm not angry about that at all. I think that to what Mallory was talking about before with The Fugitive, like a little behind the curtain or preview for a future Ringerverse pod is that Mallory and I got to interview director James Mangold about Dial of Destiny, and one thing that he likes to talk about, specifically when it comes to Indiana Jones, is the way in which he uses his brains to get through a situation, and is not just whipping people and throwing punches and stuff like that, though he does that as well. And so the way in which that is part of Raiders, of course, they're digging the wrong spot, but is plussed so much more into this Grail quest and all the fun, like, puzzles that we get to solve as part of the Grail quest, like, just makes it feel so much more of, like, Professor Henry Jones to me. I think that the origin story of River Phoenix is really fun. Again, we get to like work the scar into the character. That's really, really fun. And yeah, it's just, I just think this is a perfect film. And I like, we're gonna get to 1 and 2. It's gonna be, they're 2 excellent movies, and we're gonna figure out what goes at the top. But my thinking, I'll just say, because obviously we all know at this point I had Last Crusade at number 1. My thinking about Last Crusade at 1 is that like it should be an action adventure movie. I won't be mad if it's not. But in my thinking, I was like, Harrison Ford, franchise king. It should be a franchise king action adventure movie. And to me, this is the one with the greatest depth of performance to it for the reasons that Clay was talking about. And if you want to talk about all-time Harrison Ford pointing moments, I'm going to say when he shoves his finger in Sean Connery's face and says, "It was your obsession. I never understood it." That's a top tier.
And neither did Mom.
Yeah,
Mom. The killer.
Yes, she did. Kill shot.
Tom, stop it.
I just had to look this up. Harrison Ford, obviously, an iconic moment in this movie is when he puts together the quick Scottish tapestry expert character.
Yes.
My kids, that is their favorite thing. My kids love that scene so much.
He never hosted SNL. I feel like he's got characters. He's got characters in him that we've never gotten to see.
It's not too late.
Mallory, Indiana Jones and Last Crusade here, obviously a favorite of Brian and Joanna's. I guess I'm just a sucker for, as Joanna put it, iconic, important introductions to things. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, Red Delicious Apples. Are you more... are you... obviously, we may still talk about another Indiana Jones movie, but how do you feel about Last Crusade here at number 4? And its jump from 7.
If we don't talk about another Indiana Jones movie, I'm afraid none of us can ever do a podcast again, so hopefully we will. This is right around where I had Last Crusade on my list. I had it at 5, so I feel... But I was anticipating Joe making the case for it at 1, and I would not... Just to be clear, I would not have been opposed. So I think that, like, really anywhere in the top 5 is appropriate for one of the best and most important movies ever put on film. Everybody has already spoken beautifully about the movie. I don't know that there's a ton to add. I think to your question, Clay, like, it varies. Typically, I'm with Joe. I tend to gravitate more toward the darker, deeper, more introspective, character-driven, how has this person evolved over time rendering that we get later after we have spent more time with the character, understand their life and their relationships. You know, I'll save most of it for when we inevitably get there, but there's like a case that Raiders is the most iconic performance in the history of movies. Like, I don't know. For this one, that's, for this exercise in this draft, the order of those, even though Last Crusade I would often, I think, say is my favorite of the movies, I don't know that I think it is the most important or like linked in this context, and in some others as well. So I think that the order is correct.
I just genuinely think our top 5 is great.
Yeah, there's like nothing to be sad about this.
I'm no longer worried about anything. No.
The father-son bond in this, though, to like just...
I got no problem with this.
Yeah, add another voice to the resounding chorus. It's just, it's fantastic. And there's like that wonderful brew and mix of the heaviness and the heart. You know, I'm a child of divorce, so like any there's this, you know, what exactly the history of what happened with his mom that we're learning about over the film. It's different, obviously, than that, but like this question of just like, what are your relationships like with your parents, and what are those relationships like if somebody receded from your life for any number of reasons? And I think when Indy says to his dad, what you taught me is that I was less important to you than people who've been dead for 500 years in another country, that's fucking devastating. And you have that in the same movie as How Did You Know She Was a Nazi? She talks in her sleep. And the dawning realization that they have slept with the same woman, which is just comedy gold. And those things make perfect sense together. Perfect sense.
Named for the dog?
And in terms of Ford's just power as an actor, that truly, that final sequence where he's going through the trials and having to draw upon his, you know, long forgotten faith and the teachings of his dad to, you know, figure out those last puzzles.
Yes.
It's really something.
Wonderful.
All right, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the pick locked in here at number 4, a Marquee of Fame entrant. Yes, Drew.
I'm so sorry. I know we're 90 hours into this, but I just want to say, we're not spoiling Dial of Destiny. We want everyone to watch it with fresh eyes, but one thing that I loved is the way that Last Crusade echoes in. That's part of my favorite.
Oh, great.
How Last Crusade echoes into this movie.
That's lovely.
Very special.
I thought you were going to say, I know we're 90 hours in, but can we take another bathroom break? Regrettably, that was not what you asked. And so I would
That makes me very happy to hear that Dial of Destiny.
All right. Hey,
Last Crusade.
Ryan, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as a Marquee of Fame entrant that did pop up on the Steven Spielberg Super Draft, of course, because it had to.
Sure.
How do you feel about this here at number 4? We're just one spot out of the top 3 at this point.
You know, this one could be number 1, as others have echoed. I mean, I just think that, you know, we're really splitting hairs now in terms of performance. This movie should have ended here. We all, I think, hopefully can agree on that. And
Joanna and Mallory, Ryan has been avoiding Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for
garbage. Don't worry about it.
16 years.
I know.
Here's the thing: we're going to do the franchise miniseries Patreon.
Watch it.
Got to do it.
Ryan's got no choice.
It's really bullshit. But regardless, this movie kind of feels like such a beautiful, like, last chapter elegy. Like, they're just, everyone's so wonderful in it. It is a gorgeous movie from top to bottom. Their chemistry, I always feel like a great performer and a great actor is one who can really bounce off of another actor and just get that chemistry so tight, so wonderful, that you can't help but be emotional throughout the course of it. And this movie is that one. I mean, you know, like, I love Raiders so much, but yeah, the Sean Connery, Harrison Ford stuff, I mean, it really just fucking gets you every single time.
Yeah.
And he's so wonderful in it. So it's really hard this again, for me, this is my number one. I mean, I really just can't think of anything better in terms of Harrison Ford performing and being fun and action-packed and still mysterious, and yet it's at the same time like, you know, all is revealed and, you know, throughout the course of it. So it's a great film.
It feels so good when Ryan agrees with me. It's like
Joanna's just beaming. Joanna's over the moon.
it's like a gold. It's like
It's
a
in the
gold
top
star from my teacher. Thanks, Ryan.
It is on the. You know, somehow this has never occurred to me before. Maybe I'm just a dullard and a dimwit. But Steven Spielberg made Raiders because they wouldn't let him make a Bond
James Bond.
movie.
A Bond
Yes.
film.
And then he made James Bond Indiana Jones's dad. Like, that just has, that's
Oh, yeah.
never fully crystallized for me
Oh, yeah.
before until
Yeah.
this moment. Well, that's fabulous. All right, moving on. We're into the top three. Each GM has one pick remaining. But Mallory, would you like to take a quick intermission so we can luxuriate in these top three picks?
I mean, I'll take 45 seconds if you really don't mind.
Hey, I have a drink to refresh it, so let's take a quick intermission and be back with the top three picks in just a moment. And we're back. Okay, here we go. It's the moment of truth. There are three picks remaining, one per GM. There's one veto out there, it belongs to Brian. There's one veto override out there, it belongs to Joanna. I think it might be a good time to remind everybody the state of the list. Number 13, Regarding Henry. Number 12, Frantic. Number 11, Presumed Innocent. Number 10, Clear and Present Danger. Number 9, The Mosquito Coast. Number 8, Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope. Number 7, Blade Runner. Number 6, The Fugitive. Number 5, Working Girl. And number 4, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Up next at number 3 is Drafter C. Joanna, that means you are about to make your final pick on the list.
I really will play. It's against rules to ask you guys to just tell me what to play, but I really don't. Does anyone want to obliquely urge me in any sort of direction?
I personally feel that the three movies remaining are three of the most
You play what you want
beautiful
to
and
play.
important movies ever made, and there's no wrong
I have a
order.
veto.
I really
I
feel
feel
that
like I
way.
have it too.
The only rule is that you play your heart.
That said, if you put Raiders here, we'll never speak to you again.
Brian.
Just
Brian.
kidding.
I have a veto override. Let's just not play our things, right? You want that veto for your next draft? I have an override that could just
override my
neutralize
veto.
it.
That's a good
So
point.
let's just like not.
Shady shit. Collusion. Here at
I
Screen
can lie,
Drafts.
'cause Maureen Lee Linker.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Wheeling and dealing.
Maureen
Who would
does
have
a
thought that?
surprising
Who would have
drafter.
thought that Marine would join the ranks of like Billy
No.
Ray Bruton in GMs that get talked about behind their backs on other
Anyone who
episodes?
listened to that Paul Newman draft, you know what I'm talking about.
I love Maureen. I will
You
say
gonna
this
rate, Ryan?
in front. I will say this in front of her back. She knows this. She did a wild Jane Austen draft with me. She knows what she did.
That's true.
Yeah.
She has
Tough.
become one of the most feared GMs in Screen
tough.
Drafts
She-
land.
She buried Chimes at Midnight. No. Lots of things.
All right. Well, that's coming up next week. But right now, we've got a number 3 Harrison
Love it.
Ford pick to talk about. All right. With her final pick on the list, Joanna Robinson has selected. All right, we've got Harrison Ford on this poster, and in fact, talk about a promotion. Not appearing on the poster for the first movie and becoming the focal point of the poster for the second movie. At number 3, Joanna has selected Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Guess what?
Wow.
It's a perfect film, but so are all 3 of the top films here.
I'm like, I'm in shock. Yeah, okay, go for it.
Are you upset or are you just surprised?
I'm processing in real time.
Okay.
I'm surprised. I'm not upset. I'm surprised.
We talked a lot about this character. Mallory is reserving some of her Han Solo thoughts for now, so I'm excited to hear what she has to say about that. But something that I want to talk about, the deepening of Han Solo. This is Han Solo's best movie of those 3 movies, I think, without question. And something I love of this ongoing conversation of the way in which like Harrison Ford channeled himself or whatever into like, we now know that he had a, you know, ill-gotten affair with Carrie Fisher in the first movie. By the second movie, they like hate each other. Not temporarily, but they hate each other. They're constantly screaming at each other behind the scenes, and that like heat and energy and zip and whatever just burns through the movie, and it is so good. The I know line, one of the most iconic lines of all time. Historic. He's supposed to say I love you, and he says I know. He's a piece of, Harrison Ford's being a piece of shit in that moment, changing the line. Carrie Fisher hates it, George Lucas hates it, they're all screaming at him. He stands firm. Cinema history. Just incredible moment. You know what I mean? So like this is what he can do in the face of like all these people screaming at him. And also we should say that like he is a very cynical, to Mal's point earlier about what Han Solo brings, that cynicism. Harrison Ford was a very cynical person in general, very skeptical person. And what I love famously with the Star Wars movies is Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are like, 3-picture deal, yep, sign me up. And Harrison Ford's like, you're gonna have to work for it every single movie. I may or may not come back, we'll see, you know, like, let's talk about it. And so, in that way, he maintains that degree of control and input and stuff like that. And I think that really shines, you know, by the time he plays him the third time, he's like, can you please fucking kill me? Like, I'm so done. So that's why Jedi is not on here. But this Empire is the peak pinnacle on, you know, swagger, sex appeal, increased authority in this rebellion, like growth from the first movie, his relationship and history with Lando, like everything. And then to see him on the back foot and to see him lose, and all of that is really important to who the character is as well. So this could easily be number 1. It could easily be number 2. I'm placing it here because I think those other 2 that we want to talk about should go higher. But honestly, any one of these could be in any position. So, Empire.
All right, the pick at number 3, The Empire Strikes Back. Obviously a marquee of fame entrant, as we have done a Star Wars Super Draft back in the day. Look, yes, my favorite Star Wars movie has ended up becoming the first one, but Empire Strikes Back is spectacular. It's the way that they expand the universe and extend the story is fascinating and intriguing and entertaining, and the craft is just the craft in this movie maybe exceeds all of the other Star Wars movies. The work with Yoda is just spectacular. Dagobah, all that stuff is just absolutely phenomenal. At the Cloud City, it's just, every part of this movie is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Harrison Ford, the full like his Girl Friday like back and forth with Leia in this one was just so fun. Okay, Mallory Rubin, you were surprised and delighted. It sounded like that was perhaps what it was, but we've got Empire Strikes Back, presumably our final Star Wars movie here, I guess. So number 3, we'll see what happens. But what do we think?
I agree with the consensus in the Zoom that there's no real true wrong order for the top 3 movies. Genuinely feel that way. I was shocked when you read this out loud. I don't think that I had ever, of all the different permutations of this, I considered ever really considered one where Empire wasn't one of the first 2. Either 1 or 2. Sincerely had not considered it as a possible outcome. At the bulk of the time that I had prepped for this, I'll just say I had this at 1 on my personal list. I won't reveal what ended up there, but I, at the last minute, moved it to 2 because of reasons that we'll talk about when we get to the other movies. Joanna, I'll give my favorite me quote that you make fun of me for saying all the time. I'm at war with myself because I'm up 2 minds. I'm up to mine. And what this has, while I'm stunned, what this has unlocked is, I think, a gift from my beloved pal to me, which is allowing me to pick genuinely another one of my all-time favorite movies at number 2, which I look forward to doing shortly. So I'm very excited to do that. Empire Strikes Back, I feel like we've said this about a lot of the movies today, which I guess just cements that Harrison Ford is one of the true icons of our time, is, you know, this is a massively important and incredibly expert and essential movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of the most important movies in my life. This is a massively important and essential character. He's one of the most important characters and meaningful characters in cinema in my life. It's a combo and a moment in time for Han Solo in Empire that is just, I think, utterly indelible. Like, signature in a way that is topped by only one other thing, which will be coming later in the draft. And I don't know if it's even topped by that. It's just, for me, ultimately...
Oh, right. Done.
It gets back to a little bit of what Brian was saying earlier with Last Crusade, and then the way we are factoring in maybe the ensemble aspects when we're weighting some of these against each other. And while I think that in many ways Empire is